As Trey Minter waits on one hash mark, Kawan Baker on the other. We're underway. Foot into the football, and here's a rare return by Baker up the far hash mark, out to the 20, has a hole. He's at the 30. Kawan Baker can move, and he gets pushed out of bounds, and that is Biscardi, the kicker, who'll nudge him out on the far sideline, and the Jags will go to work, 1st and 10. And of course, here comes South Alabama's offense with Cole Garvin, the quarterback, and we talked a lot about Trey Minter earlier. He's blocking this time on the kickoff return. 6 rushing touchdowns this year for the junior out of Ellaville, Georgia.
And if Trey Minter gets going, this is a dangerous South Alabama football team. Although that you can see the flag on the play, a hold. Maybe that's why the hole was so wide open for Kawan Baker.
That's our head referee today, Chris Sneed, Sunbelt Conference officiating team. And that big gaping hole is going to push it back. And there's Trey Minter's numbers for you. 63 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns. That was in the last game. Receiving yards, 152 on the year. But a total all-purpose, that's the big number for him, 1,551. And Pat, he can be dangerous on kick returns. This time lines up as the running back behind the quarterback. And the give, and Minter gets the first carry. He may have lost about a half yard trying to break it behind the left side. Now, these defensive ends also worth highlighting for Coastal Carolina. Talking about Jeffrey Gunter on one side, Terod Jackson on the other. Their bookends have combined for 23.5 tackles for loss and 8 sacks. This is a team that can wreak some havoc getting into the backfield. They've got 11 quarterback hurries as well.
Well, and they feel like they have something to prove after the last outing where they gave up a lot of rushing yards. So Coastal Carolina with something to prove today. And again, we talked about it in the open that they're trying to get bowl eligible. Doesn't mean they get into a bowl game, but makes them bowl eligible is something that has never happened in Coastal Carolina history.
Looks like Jordan McCray stood up, came out of his stance as the wide receiver. South Alabama was wanting to change the play.
And you look at Steve Campbell, not very happy with that start as he just drops his head.
So that's 2nd and 15. 2 penalties already against South Alabama. Garvin swings it into the backfield. Caught. Minter finds a hole. Good block on the edge by Jamarius Way. Breaks another tackle, 30. Well, there's a way to get it back in a hurry. Jamarius Way, good block to seal off the corner. And there's an injured player down for Coastal Carolina, and a big run after the catch for Trey Minter for South Alabama, and that's a first down.
Well, Jordan McCray, who got the penalty, watch him at the top left of your screen making another downfield block that allowed another 10 yards or so. And so you make up for the penalty by getting the downfield block and springing that big run for Trey Minter. And meantime, you see Juve Brown appears to be the Coastal Carolina player that is injured.
He's the junior safety out of Franklin, New Jersey. With an injury on the field, we'll take a time 58 seconds into the opening quarter. No score yet here in Mobile, Alabama. Juve Brown, the injured safety, is off the field. And the safety goes down. Actually, friendly fire here, Pat.
Well, you see him at the very end of that play getting clipped at about the 20-yard line by Telly Gallagher, just trying to make a play, and Gallagher just got into his knee. But again, you see Brown able to get up on his own power, and that's good news.
Minter running behind left tackle Troy Thinkstad will pick up almost 5 that time. And, of course, you hope the best for Juve Brown. Former teammate JUCO with a Jag, backup linebacker Reggie Williamson on the South Alabama roster, who's out at Lynn Haven, Florida. And Deontay Moore will come out for a play now, one running back. 2nd and 5 from near midfield. Jags took the opening kickoff, had a big return. 2 penalties, though, so far already against the Jags. And maybe the line of scrimmage that time. He gets wrapped up, and that's C.J. Brewer, the Georgia native, his 27th tackle of the year for the defensive tackle. And Coastal Carolina will force a 3rd down and 5.
Well, Brewer just blew right past the lineman trying to block him, and Minter ran right into him. Nice job there by Brewer to force a 3rd down and 6.
Jags 42% on 3rd downs this year. We're really good on 3rd down against Louisiana. Center Judge allowing Coastal Carolina to make some substitutions. Late getting off was linebacker Silas Kelly. And now showing outside blitz. That play clock's already at 7. Jags still wanting to change the play. Garvin, the quarterback, looks left, throws back, and that's a tunnel screen catch. And Jamarius Way, who had 6 grabs against Louisiana and a touchdown last Saturday, is going to give South Alabama another 1st down into Coastal Carolina territory, working between the hashes to the 44.
Well, that was a great job because Chandler Chris came in unblocked on Cole Garvin, and Garvin able to let it go just in time as Jamarius Way able to get the 1st down. But nice job under pressure by Cole Garvin to get that one away.
Down the line option, Garvin, late pitch down to Minter. The 40, another good block by Way. And he'll get inside the 25, deeper into the red zone. He'll go to the 18. The Jags are making their 36th trip into an opponent's red zone where they're 89% this year. And you highlighted a good player in the pregame open there, Pat, Trey Minter, and he's having a good game so far.
Well, what sprung it was the nice inside fake to Deontay Moore, because you take a look at how many people went after Moore, and then all of a sudden you got a 2-on-1 on the outside on that option. That's exactly how you draw it up if you're Kenny Edenfield, the offensive coordinator.
New set of downs. The give, the weight, the spin move. And not much off the right side that time for South Alabama with the run game. Look at Maurice Mayo, his first carry of the football game. Maurice Mayo, a junior from Homewood, Alabama, on his 35th carry of 2018.
And Mayo scored a touchdown in the season opener for South Alabama against Louisiana Tech. Hasn't seen the end zone since. And hadn't gotten a whole lot of playing time, in part because Trey Minter has really stepped up in that number 1 position with Deontay Moore number 2. And Mayo has been settling in at that number 3 spot.
Jags put 2 wide receivers into the boundary, only a wing to the field side. 2nd down and 8. Jet sweep handoff, Baker left side. Trying to run behind Taylor, breaks into the boundary to the 10 and nudged out up around the face mask or a horse collar. I don't see any flags out, but he's going to be right at the line to make for a 1st down. Nice run by Baker.
I'm pretty sure there was a flag down toward the back toward where he went out of bounds.
Here's our call.
Oh, it's against South Alabama. Holding the call. Having some issues with our referee Mike not working in stadium. But they'll get the hold on South Alabama, and that'll back them up. I thought they might get Coastal Carolina for a face mask. They got Kawan Baker way up high, but they got the hold first. And there.
They were looking at Collier Smith. It was downfield, so it was a spot foul at just about the line to make down around the 10. So a 10-yard mark off puts it back to the 20. 2nd and 12. Pump fake twice. Garvin's going to pull it down. Garvin trying to get to the edge, and he'll get out just shy of the 16, running to that far boundary. And an open field tackle by safety Fitz Watley, the senior from Powder Springs, Georgia. That's his 59th tackle of the year. He leads the team in tackles for Coastal Carolina. South Alabama 2-9, 1-6 in the conference. Here's your replays. They look for win number 3.
And take a look at Watley. Take a look at this closing speed as Garvin had a lot of green in front of him, and then all of a sudden it closed in a hurry as Watley able to ride him out of bounds.
Coastal Carolina 5-6, 2 up, 5 down in the conference. Rolling right into the corner, looking for big McCray, and he overthrows him. McCray came down with the ball. He was out of bounds, though. Gives you that great target. 6'5", 190, the junior from Marietta, trying to get his 28th grab of the year. And it's going to be field goal time. So Coastal Carolina got to be a little proud here. South Alabama, a lot of yards on the first offensive drive, will force Gavin Patterson to try to convert his 9th field goal of the year. The senior from Bourbonnais, Illinois, is 8 of 11. And he'll try this one from 32 yards.
Well, that's definitely a win for the Chanticleer defenses. South Alabama looked like they were going to roll right into the end zone, but the Chanticleer stiffen up and force this field goal attempt.
Jay Carwell will snap. Corliss Waitman, the punter's the holder. Gavin's right foot into it. And he puts it right down the middle. And the Jags strike first, leading Coastal Carolina 3-0 on a drive that started on the opening kickoff. 3-0. South Alabama leading the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina. And we're coming right back to Mobile, Alabama. Jaguars head coach Steve Campbell there in the middle in the blue, talking to his team and Pat Greenwood. He's got to like the first scoring drive from last week and the first scoring drive of this week. Last week at Louisiana, it was a 20-play drive that spanned over 10 minutes.
And today, 11 plays, 67 yards as South Alabama gets on the board with a field goal. And we'll see if the Chanticleers can respond.
Here comes the return. John Taylor gets it up the near sideline, pushed out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. South Alabama 3, Coastal Carolina nothing. And we'll see the first drive now. And here comes Kilton Anderson, 6'2 senior from Naples, Florida. He was just 4 of 10 at Georgia Southern. 57% on the year, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for Anderson.
But a guy who's been battling some injuries as well. Thrown for 748. And again, this is primarily a running Chanticleer team, but that's what makes the pass especially dangerous when the run is working.
They put 3 into the boundary. Throw to the single coverage side. High, caught, far sideline. Nice grab over there by Malcolm Williams. He's their leading receiver who did not catch a pass at home last week against Georgia Southern. That's his 41st of the year. He's a senior from Shreveport, Louisiana, the favorite target of either of the Coastal Carolina quarterbacks.
And the fact that he didn't catch a pass last week was a big deal because he had caught one in 14 straight prior to that.
2 wides left and a tight end right. 2 running backs, looks like an inverted wishbone. Anderson working from the gun. Play clock at 14. Snap down the line option. The pitch. Nice open field tackle by Dorian Mills, the senior from Winter Haven, Florida. He'll wrap up on C.J. Marable. Lauren Estes talked about him in our open. He's the transfer from Presbyterian. Team lead in touchdowns with 8. But how about DeRyan, who had his first interception of the year a week ago?
Well, and that's one thing that South Alabama has struggled with is tackling in the open field, especially on an option play like that. Good job by DeRyan to hold them to about a 2-yard gain. But now you got a 3rd and short for the Chanticleer offense.
This is going to be Alex James. They use a lot of running backs. He's from Florence, South Carolina, off the left shoulder here of Anderson. 1-step drop, quick throw out boundary, and wide open is Williams. Nigel Lawrence kind of got caught up in traffic, working in there with the interior of the defensive front. And that's enough for a Coastal Carolina first down out to the 47-yard line. The chains will move for the Chanticleers.
Well, they're making up for the fact that Williams didn't get any catches last week as they've gone to him twice so far, 2 for 2 in the passing game for Anderson.
Joe Moglia is their head coach. 56-21 as the head coach of the Shots, former chairman of TD Ameritrade. Coached in the Ivy League before heading into the private sector and then got back into coaching. Nice stunt. Jordan Beaton drops him, tackle for a loss. And that's going to be the 56th of the year. The ball's fumbled, recovered by the Jags. And the Jags are also going to recover their 5th fumble of the 2018 season.
Well, it was Jordan Beaton, the guy that fell on it, but it was a bad exchange between the running back and the quarterback, and it was almost appeared as if Anderson was indecisive about whether to give it or to take it away, and then in that indecision, the ball hits the turf, and Beaton able to get there. As you take a look, as that was just never a clean exchange, balls on the turf, and Beaton right there to come up with the loose football.
Trying to hand it to Alex James. It never got in his gut at all. 1st and 10 Jags at the 45 of the Shunts. Deep post, looking for Way. Single coverage, got it at the 15. Way breaks, high-stepping it, and gets into the end zone. Chunk play, and adds 6 points to it as Jamarius gets to the end zone for the 6th time this year. 45-yard strike. Cole Garvin, his 4th touchdown throw for the senior from Newnan, Georgia. And
you like the fact that Kenny Edenfield says, all right, we just got a gift on the fumble. Let's take a shot here. And Jamarius went one-on-one with the defender from Coastal Carolina. And Cole Garvin able to spot him, put him in. And now South Alabama with a rare 10-0 lead if this goes through. And it does.
Flags are down. Flags are down after the kick at about the 9-yard line. That was right at the kicker. Somebody may have gotten in on Garvin. They threw it right where the hold was put down. And let's hear from our head referee, Chris Sneed.
Running into the kicker. Defense, number 20. The penalty is declined. The try is good.
Let's take a look at the replay. Jamarius Way gets open right down the middle.
Well, Cole Garvin, again, with the play fake, and then just waiting for him to go across the middle, lofts it right where he needs to go. And then Jamarius Way, so big and so strong, able to high-step his way into the end zone. Touchdown, South Alabama. They lead by 10. To the 25-yard line. The cheerleaders have been in front of the program for 3 years.
Jags get their 12th takeaway of the year, turn it into points, a 45-yard touchdown pass to that guy.
Well, Jamarius Way on the sidelines, but boy, did he do a great job on the field. Cole Garvin with a nice job of finding him in the middle of the field, but watch when Jamarius Way able to catch it. Here comes Derek Bush and just stiff arms his way, and so big and so strong, and that is enough to get into the end zone for the Jags.
Derek Bush, just a freshman from Tucson, Arizona. The ensuing kick out of the back of the end zone by Corliss Waitman. So the Jags get their 8th fumble recovery of the year. Correction, 5th fumble recovery. And now that puts them at +5 in takeaway advantage ratio against Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina's first drive had one big play in it, got it up to the 45-yard line. And South Alabama recovered a fumble caused by Jordan Beaton. So here comes Kilton Anderson again. Anderson a perfect 2 for 2, 12 yards. But the Jags are already outgaining them, 127-14. A running back, 2 wides either way on 1st and 10, and this drive will start after the touchback at the Chanticleer 25. 3-man front by the Jags. Option play. Hit as he gets it out there. Malcolm Buggs kind of waited too long. I think he thought that was going to be a tackle for a loss. And running around him was C.J. Marable. Comes in 8th in the Sun Belt in rushing yards.
Well, take a look at the shot that Anderson took. Still able to make a nice pitch and get outside. And there's Marable just out racing Buggs to the corner, and he gets a nice first down for the Chanticleers.
Really good pitch relation. Marable keeping that space between him and the quarterback, 39-yard line. And now the Jags will rush forward, 2 linebackers. Their normal look. Say a direct snap this time. And running up the middle on the Wildcat is Marable. The sophomore will rumble up the middle behind his left guard, Jack Franklin, for a couple of yards. 2nd and 8 now for the Chanticleers.
Well, we see that formation more and more from a lot of different teams. Look, put the ball in your playmakers' hands. Marable, obviously one of the big playmakers for the Chanticleers. And if it's a direct snap, so be it. And that's what they did there. And now we'll go back to a more traditional formation as Anderson gets back behind center.
Tight end and a wing right, 2 wides left. The man in motion's a good-looking tight end, Shadell Bell from Decatur, Georgia. Toss sweep behind him. Marable squeezes up across the 40, picks up a couple of yards, and it'll be 3rd down and 6.
Well, he made a nice move around the left end as Tobias Moss trying to get in there for a tackle for loss. Couldn't get there. Meantime, Buggs able to make the stop, but not before. 2 yards for Coastal Carolina. Now they've got a 3rd and 6.
They're 1 of 1 on 3rd downs today, 42% on the year. Anderson will clap. Jags jump off but get back, and then Coastal Carolina comes and gets out of their stance. This may be illegal procedure, and it will be.
Now, Stephen Badowski, the left tackle, after South Alabama jumped, they didn't make contact, so they're allowed to jump and get back. Badowski jumped out of his stance. Let's see if that is indeed the call.
Offsides.
Oh.
Defense, number 99. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Wow, he gets over and back way before the snap. Jeffrey Watley with no contact made. You see that go a lot of different ways. And the ball's going to be spotted at the 48, just shy of midfield, 3rd and a yard this time, much more manageable as Coastal Carolina will line up in the pro set. Now the tight end of the wing adjusts to the right side. Michael McFarland's a tight end, mostly a blocker, and he'll lead here for the running back, Marable. And he'll pick up the 1st down at the 50.
He only needed a yard. He was able to get 2. Nice blocking along the right side. That's Hoffman, Howard, Trey Carter, the center, able to get just enough daylight from Marable to find the 50-yard line and move the chains for Coastal Carolina.
So the big wide receiver, redshirt freshman from Monroe, North Carolina, Jeremiah Miller, will come out. He's replaced by a running back. So now there's 2 running backs, Marable and James, with the quarterback Anderson. 1st and 10. Play action, the throw, the bat. Malcolm Buggs got his hand on it, deflected it, and it is incomplete.
Well, Malcolm Buggs, not a big guy. He's only 5'9". Or was that Watley maybe that got his hands in on it? Either way, the Jags with their hands up, good enough to knock it away as Kilton Anderson not able to get through. And we'll take a look at the replay, and that was Jeffrey Watley.
Malcolm said, why'd you show the replay? I wanted credit for that. Jeffrey Watley, much bigger, able to get up in that passing lane and bat it down. 2nd and 10 from the 50. Chanticleers in the white, teal numbers, black helmets. Jags up 10-0 on them. The give, and not much, maybe a yard. And the Jags defensive end showing out a little bit. And Tyree Turner, the 5 technique, came crashing down. The junior from Stockbridge, Georgia, picking up his 47th tackle of the year.
A good down-the-line pursuit by Tyree Turner as he went from his left to his right. And Steve Campbell, and there's a look at Greg Stewart, the defensive coordinator, liking this situation here as Coastal now in a 3rd and 9.
And this is what Greg Stewart calls the Panther package.
Yep, they're going to put 4 down, and as Coastal Carolina will respond with 4 wide receivers.
Tajee Stewart, Sterling Fisher likes to sneak up and blitz. Jalen Thompson comes in. Time to throw. Rolling out. Good protection. There's a flag. Likely a hold, though, in the Chanticleer backfield. Nice run and scramble by Anderson, the quarterback. But it looks like it's going to be going the other way.
They do like to blitz Stewart out of there, but they kept him back this time.
Holding. Offense, number 63. Penalty is 10 yards from the previous spot. Complete 3rd down.
So Trey Carter, the center, out of Monroeville, Alabama, not too far from Mobile. He's the one that is guilty of that infraction. And now a 3rd and 9 turns into a 3rd and 19.
First penalty against Coastal Carolina. Jags have already been penalized for 30 yards. So from just across their own 40, Coastal Carolina, 35 yards of offense, but the 7th play of this drive coming up. Look at the linebackers playing way back, expecting a throwing down. They throw it into the flat, dumping it down. Marable across the original line and gets within 5 of picking up the first down. Marable had some good space, turned on the jets, and the sophomore running backs going to get him within 4 yards, setting up a 3rd down.
That'll set up a 4th down, won't it? Yeah, that'll set up a 4th down, and I thought that would be enough for Moglia to say, let's go ahead and go for it at the 44, but it looks like the punting unit's coming in.
Charles Alverson, sophomore punter, 44th punt of the year for him. He averages 43.1. Long snapper Connor Cublis and Trey Mentor will backpedal and wait at the 9.
Mentor very dangerous back there if he gets an opportunity.
Snap down at the knee, no rush. And a spiraling kick with really good hang time. Mentor trying to play possum, and it works. Everybody came in on him, followed him to the middle of the field. That'll bounce into the end zone and roll out to come out to the 20-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10. South Alabama leading 10-0. Time remaining in the opening quarter, 4 minutes and 8 seconds.
Well, South Alabama, again, wants to establish the run, and they've done a pretty good job of it so far, but it's one of those situations where after they got the touchdown following a Coastal Carolina turnover, and they said, let's take a shot, and they took the shot in one play, 1 touchdown. So I would expect to see a lot of ground game here as South Alabama trying to chew up some clock and establish that run game.
Garvin's 3 of 4, 83 yards and a touchdown. 45 of the 83 was on a touchdown throw to Wade. Tripped up Deontay Moore, the running back, on some crossbuck. Bends one in behind right tackle. Ryan Alexander picks up 4 yards.
And that was Teddy Gallagher, the sophomore out of Los Angeles. Was able to grab his foot and knock him down, hold him to a gain of 4.
2 running backs for Garvin. Claps his hand, chest high, shotgun snap, rides it in the middle. Mentor, big hole, he'll get up. Running right in behind the sophomore center, Brian Ankerson. And will pick up a South Alabama 1st down for the Jags. The 5th first down of the football game. And we're still in the 1st quarter.
Brian Ankerson, a local product out of Theodore High School. Had 0 starts at center prior to this year and has hardly come out.
Coastal Carolina, the 4-2. 1st and 10. Mentor on the zone read. Up and over. Will cartwheel up to the 40-yard line. Nice pickup of 7. Setting up a 2nd and 3.
And it was a good downfield block by Deontay Moore along the edge. Look at 24 right there, just putting his headgear right into the chest of the defender, and that allows Trey Mentor to get an extra couple of yards.
Moore sealing off the linebacker Makins. Same play, running right side. This time Moore gets to carry it, puts it in the right hand, 50 down the near sideline. Deontay puts on the gas and a stiff arm and a big gain. He'll pick up 33 down to the 33.
We talked about the Chanticleer struggles defensively with the run, something that was not lost on the South Alabama coaching staff. And it's pretty clear what their MO is today, and so far it's working.
Working from the near hash, Jags trying to go on a march here. They scored on their first 2 drives. A 32-yard Gavin Patterson field goal and a 45-yard touchdown throw. And there's a flag in the backfield.
South Alabama had a couple of guys pulling. I believe one of them may have gotten a hold in there.
We do see a backup in at left guard, Max Sherright from Homestead, Florida.
Holding. Offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
5th flag against the Jags.
Yeah, they're going to get Troy Thingstad for it this time. Thingstad also a local product. And we talked about the offensive line and give you some perspective about what South Alabama has been facing offensively. Going into this year, left tackle to right tackle, career starts, you had 1, 0, 0, 0, 16. So 17 combined starts along the offensive line, but the Jags have rotated 9 all year, and everybody comes back next season.
Tight end right, 3 to the field side, and will run away from it. And running in behind the tight end, South Alabama is going to lose yardage. A 1.5 yard loss this time, setting up 2nd and 21. Taiwan Walters was in that time as a running back for South Alabama, the senior from Marks, Mississippi. It is senior day today for South Alabama, playing their final game at Ladd-Peebles Stadium.
And in fact, only one more season at Ladd-Peebles Stadium, or at least that is the plan, as an on-campus stadium set to go up and be playable by 2020.
Jags offensive linemen get down tight on the right side with 2 running backs. Here's the option. Garvin finds a hole. Slips inside the 40, up the far hash mark. Wrapped up at the knees that time on a tackle by Jeffrey Gunter, one of their talented bookends, but he had to race and catch Garvin from behind. It's going to be still a situation of playing behind the original line of scrimmage. That holding penalty really hurt South Alabama. Now it's 3rd and 14 for the Jags. They're trying to get to the opponent's 23.
And you saw a look at Gunter. He needs 2 more tackles for loss to tie the single-season mark in Chanticleer history.
Trips right for the Jags. Garvin has way in the middle of that trio. A very tall 6'5" Jordan McCray, the outside receiver. Kawan Baker is the slot receiver, and he scored 3 times last Saturday. 2 rushing, 1 catching at Louisiana. Here's the tunnel screen. Way's got it. Good block. Will he get to the line to make? No, he's going to come up about 4 yards short. And coming down in a hurry to lead block for him after the catch was the right tackle, Ryan Alexander, a very nimble junior, 6'3", 300-pounder.
But how about Fitz Watley making the stop? And that's not an easy stop on a guy like Jamarius Way. Is Watley pursuing down the line and then just gets him below the waist. Now a decision time for Steve Campbell. And it looks like he may, actually I take that back, not going to have to make the decision. The quarter's going to end. But you would think he'll go for the field goal here, but we've seen different things from Steve Campbell this season.
Last Saturday, 5 of 5 on 4th downs, 4 of 4 in 1 drive alone. We've played 15 minutes. The Jags will have it 4th and 4.5. When we come back after 1 quarter, it's South Alabama 10, Coastal Carolina 0. For 2 on the day. Lauren, before we go to this next drive, hey, Lauren, 4th down. Kind of went either way there. Steve Campbell likes to go for it on 4th down. He's done it a lot this year.
He does. He's actually finished 15 for 25 this season. That's about 60% all year long. Last week, they were actually 5 for 5 on 4th down conversions, and 4 of those occurred in 1 drive. So he's pretty consistent that 4th down, so I'm surprised he elected to kick the field goal there, JD.
But I thought the conservative call, it was indeed to kick the field goal. And Gavin Patterson, usually pretty accurate, but just pushed that one to the right and dodged a bullet for the Coastal Carolina.
Anderson being rushed. Turns around, Milner's there. So there's a quarterback hurry, maybe a hold or a chop block, because right in his face was a blitzing Jeffrey Watley up the middle for South Alabama.
Certainly under a ton of pressure was Chasen Milner in there as well, as Anderson just let it go. And the South Alabama coach is also complaining that no receiver was in the area at the time either.
And he was still in the box.
Yeah. But I only see 1 flag, and that was at the point of contact right before Anderson let it go.
The grounding would be loss of down. That's what the coaches would like if you're South Alabama.
There are 2 fouls by the offense. Holding by the offense. That penalty is declined. Intentional grounding by the offense. That penalty will be spot of the foul. Loss of down. It'll be 2nd down.
Second flag for Coastal Carolina, and you can see he's well within the pocket Watley gets hit below the waist, or below the knees, rather. Nice catch over there on the sideline.
And Watley had some help from Chasen Milner as well, and Joe Moglia making his case to the officials, but to no avail. So it'll be a second down and about 20 here, as the Chanticleers have been working behind the sticks pretty consistently today. Not something that you want to see from a running type of offense.
Early second, Jags leading 10-0 over Coastal Carolina. This is the first ever meeting between these two. Coastal coming off a loss against Georgia Southern at home, 41-17. And this Coastal Carolina offense only had 189 total yards a week ago. Jags showing a three-man rush, and the play clock had gotten down to zeros.
And you're starting to see some frustration from that Coastal offense, as you had a couple of their linemen getting up and just showing some frustration. Bell, one of them. Malcolm Williams as well, as looking to the sideline saying, let's get it together, as South Alabama a 10-0 lead in the second quarter.
Early second, Coastal Carolina only 40 net yards. And as we mentioned going into the break, they only had 189 in the loss to Georgia Southern. Two running backs. Anderson, play action fake. Here comes outside pressure, throws it, and off the shoulder pads, a wide open miss. Malcolm Williams, their leading receiver, not able to haul it in, and he had nothing but space.
Well, he had beaten the defensive back, Jalen Thompson, had about a 5-yard cushion. And one move on Thompson, he may have been gone. And boy, he just tried to run before he hauled it in. That is a big, big break for South Alabama, as Williams just didn't look it in. You see that head turn just before the ball gets there.
And right in front of his own bench. Here's C.J. Marable, the running back, off the right shoulder. And it's 3rd down and 20. Jags in cover 3. Two linebackers. The give. And on 3rd and half an acre, no gain. Marable hit at the line, spun down, and Tyree Turner right there for the defensive stop.
Well, kind of surprised that they went for the run there. It's kind of a waving of the white flag, as we're just going to give up on this, because you would have had to go 20 yards in order to move the chains. So Coastal Carolina backed up again, and they'll be forced to punt it away again.
After the long missed field goal by Patterson, the Jags defense helps the kicker out with a 3-and-out. On for the punt, Coastal Carolina. Overson's first went 44. Mender waits for it at the 39. No rush up the middle. They use 4 on the protection wall and got a good shot to clear bounce, staying in bounds. The 30 still rolling and down near the 26. So he's going to like the result of that.
A well-placed punt along the sideline as Mentor had no chance even on the bounce. It would have been very risky to try and take it with a defender right there. And nice job by the punter to pin South Alabama back to their own 27-yard line.
55 yards on the punt, no return. So here come the Jags, leading 10-0.
New quarterback.
Evan Orth comes out. He's been hurt. Had the shoulder injured on the road. Play action. Orth wide open over the middle. Jamarius Way gets away. He's in space. And real estate ahead of him. Down the middle of the field. And Evan Orth 1 for 1 for a score.
Well, that'll help the average a little bit. It's just a busted coverage in the Coastal Carolina secondary. But that was an easy pitch and catch as Evan Orth into the ball game. First time we've seen him in action in a couple of games. And there's a little play action, and then his eyes got wide because you don't get receivers that wide open very often. But Jamarius Way able to find that soft spot in the zone. Derek Bush trying to no avail to catch him. And South Alabama an extra point away from being up 17.
Longest touchdown pass of the year, breaking the 56-yarder to Jameer Taylor. That one's going to go for 73. And Gavin Patterson drills the point after. And the Jags are now on top 17-0 early in the second. Evan Orth hook it up. Second touchdown catch of the afternoon for Jamarius Way. Jags have back-to-back one-play drives here, Pat. Jordan Beaton recovered a fumble in the first at the 45. Next play, Garvin to Jamarius Way for 45, and then there was a one-play drive there. Here's the ensuing kick. That ball is going to be taken at the 4. Return to the 10-15. Coastal Carolina gets it out about the 28-yard line. Let's go to that pass play, though. First, the formation. South Alabama was showing run. One receiver, full backfield.
And Jamarius Way in the bottom of your screen, the only receiver split wide. And you can see Derek Bush, who was the one-on-one, who went with him, took 2 steps up, and then all of a sudden he was about 5 steps behind. And Bush trying in vain to catch him, but Jamarius Way, no way you're going to catch him.
Bush, the freshman's been beat twice. He had no help from the top safety, Fitz Watley. First and 10, Coastal Carolina trailing by 17 from their own 18. Delay handoff up the middle, and the reach out and the grab. South Alabama's defensive front, Sean Brown, able to get the hand out on him after a gain of 2.
Sean Brown, 6'3", 310 pounds. And he was beaten on the play, but able to get that big paw in there and slow him down just enough to get the tackle. Gain of 2 for Coastal Carolina.
Jags outgaining Coastal 262 to 42. This is a run first team. Coastal Carolina has just 17 yards on the ground. Now from their own 30. Down the line option. Off the belly play to Marable. It's the belly play that for years the run teams liked it because you did it normally under center, either out of the eye or split backs. And it's really the triple option where you isolate a linebacker. And that time executing it much better today is quarterback Kilton Anderson, getting it out to the 40 and a new set of downs.
And he had big Ethan Howard, the right tackle, 6'6", 285, downfield blocking as well. That helps.
3-man front, 2 linebackers. Safeties high, corners soft. Looking for the deep threat, pump fake, and caught. Nice concentration by Anderson, waiting for his wide out to get open that time. And that's the first grab of the game for Kyjon Taylor, the junior from Sumter, South Carolina, his 23rd of the year.
Well, a nice check down, too, because that wasn't his first option. He was trying to go to Larry Collins Jr., but he was covered one-on-one on the far side and checked down by Anderson to be able to get the 9-yard gain.
Second and less than a yard. Quarterback and running backs are all 8 yards off the football. Tight end switches, sets to the right. He'll lead block. Here's the give. First down and more. And a tackle down at the legs that time. Nick Mobley, the linebacker, was there. A redshirt freshman from Alabaster, Alabama. Went on scholarship just before the season on August 22nd. Had a big career, especially a senior year at Thompson High School when he had 141 stops.
And a lot of young talent on both teams. Do the depth chart for Coastal Carolina. You saw a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomore on their squad as well. We've seen it a lot from South Alabama this season.
Maurice Strong comes in. 4 new defensive linemen for the Jags for a new set of downs for Coastal Carolina. First and 10 in Jag territory. First time they've been across midfield. Here's the speed option this time. Anderson will keep and tripped up. Little help there from Nigel Lawrence. And again in on the stop is Nick Mobley.
But Anderson able to make a move on Bull Barge along that left side, and that allowed the extra 4 or 5 yards and a very manageable 2nd down and 5 for the Chanticleers coming up.
Line to make. Just outside the Jaguar 37. Ian Anderson. See some outside blitz. And we'll bring a man in motion into the backfield. The give, nothing. South Alabama telegraphs it and gets through in a big collision. Jeremiah Littles.
Well, you couldn't draw that up better if you're Greg Stewart, the defensive coordinator for South Alabama. You take away that first option and you take it away in a hurry. As Littles coming off the right side of your screen just blows right through the line and right at the running back and drops Alex James for a loss.
The run game just not there today for Coastal Carolina. It was not there a week ago. Right now they have 68 rushing yards, 68 total yards, 32 on the ground. 7th play of the drive in Jag territory at the 44. Here's a 3rd and long. 3rd downs today, just 50%, 2 for 4. Anderson, the quarterback, the Fresno State transfer, will take the shotgun snap, load up, look right, and a sliding grab. Good concentration. Yeah, he made that, and there's a late flag coming in. Jalen Thompson trying to say it hit the ground, but Malcolm Williams, really good concentration. And it looked like a catch, at least preliminarily. And an injured player is that Kilton Anderson, the quarterback.
Yeah, he was hit by Sean Grayer coming in. Grayer was applying the pressure, and Anderson still doubled up as he made a heck of a throw under duress. And Grayer drove him to the ground after the play, and you can hear the lack of noise from this crowd here at Glad People Stadium.
Defense, number 13. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a 1st down.
They call that on DJ Daniels. He was out on one of the other receivers because in coverage, Right near Malcolm Williams was Jalen Thompson, the corner for South Alabama. So the biggest play of the day for Coastal Carolina. We'll put it deeper into Jag territory at the 31-yard line, as now getting up to his feet is Kilton Anderson.
Good to see that young man walking off under his own power, but now you look at the quarterback situation for Coastal Carolina, and when your starting quarterback goes out, it's never a good thing, but for Coastal, they've played 3 guys consistently. So not really a huge shock to the system. If you're Coach Moglia, you've got 2 other guys that have seen significant time this season. Now it's just a matter of which one it is.
Looks like it may be Carpenter.
Yep.
Fred Payton is a freshman from Sewanee, Georgia.
And it will be Bryce Carpenter.
Started off his career good, 67%. He had an injury against UMass. He started against Troy and ULM.
And with that announcement, they are going to take a look at that catch to see if it was indeed a catch.
.909 to go in period number 2. As they get on headsets, got to get the referee's attention here before we send this off to break. Our head referee is Chris Snee, currently on headsets talking with Bill Merritt, our replay official. Looks like he may take the headsets off. Well, he had a hand on it. Could be a very quick confirmation of a catch or not a catch. All right, we'll take a break. Jags leading 17-0. We'll see if the catch stands at the 31 when we come back.
Ooh, I don't know.
Wow. I think it hits turf. Greer hit him.
Huh? Yeah.
It is going to be Carpenter. And the replay is complete, and our head referee Chris Sneed with a decision. We'll show you a replay in a moment.
Play, the call stands. First down, Coastal Carolina.
From the end zone, the look, Pat, not quite sure if he did hang on to it, but it's going to stand.
Yeah, it looked like a catch initially. The question is, did he follow through with the catch? As you can see, as he gets his hands underneath it right there, but did he follow all the way through? The ball was kind of squirting along his body, but when they say the call stands, that means they don't have enough to overturn it.
Empty backfield for the new quarterback, Carpenter. The right-hander wants to throw over the middle. Post, got him, Carpenter. That's his 5th touchdown of the year, wide open over the middle, and the grab made. And South Alabama's lead's cut down. That was a big stoppage, and the new quarterback, Carpenter, comes in for Anderson. Every one of these quarterbacks who've been in, Anderson, Payton, and Carpenter on the year, have all been injured at some point. There is a flag down after the play.
How about that for the confidence boost, though, for the young quarterback, Bryce Carpenter, as Isaiah Likely was wide open.
Trying to get our call here on the penalty, assuming against South Alabama after the play.
Personal foul, face mask by the defense, number 6. During the play, the touchdown is good. The penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
So Nigel Lawrence on the flag, and that'll be the 6th against South Alabama. Look at the throw by Carpenter. Calmly puts it on the money.
Well, number 1, he had a lot of time. His offensive line gave him a lot of time to get there, and then Likely ran a great route, kept the defenders to his back. He was the only one that could catch that football. Nicely delivered there by Carpenter.
7-play drive, 41 yards. Up and good. So the Jags lead cut back to 10 on a really good pass by Carpenter. And now over 100 yards of offense. Chanticleers could be hitting their stride and starting to click. You don't want to see Kilton Anderson go out of the game, but it looks like Bryce Carpenter, and he had some good games. Starts against ULM and Troy. Became just the second true freshman to start for the Chanticleers in a ton of years.
Take another look at the touchdown from Carpenter to Likely. And look at the protection he had. Carpenter all day to throw it, and then got behind the linebacker Bull Barge. Nigel Lawrence didn't get there in time. He had the over-the-top help. A nice delivery by Carpenter, and Likely able to haul it in. And now we got a ball game here in Mobile.
Correction on the drive, 72 yards, 8 plays, 4:40 off the clock. As the Chanticleers get on the board for the first time. Each team 7 first downs. Jags over twice as many offensive yards, 262 to 112. And the Jags have also played 2 quarterbacks, not out of necessity, those. Evan Orth was in on the last touchdown strike for South Alabama. And kicking off from midfield after the face mask and just booting it through the uprights or near them. And that'll come out to the 25-yard line after Biscardi's deep kickoff. And South Alabama will be going back on offense with a 10-point lead. Now, will it be Garvin? Will it be Orth?
It'll be Evan Orth.
Orth to like his number so far, 1 for 1 and a touchdown. And it was just plain busted coverage by Coastal Carolina when Jamarius Way was able to get down the field. And it looks like it's going to be same formation, but this time Jalen Tolbert, the wide receiver, split to the near side.
Well, the problem is for Evan Orth, your numbers can only go down from here.
5-man front, 3 linebackers running right side, stretch play, and the give, and Mentor is going to rumble and stay ahead of schedule on a gain of 6, 2nd and 4. Trey Mentor continues to have a good game today. That's his 7th carry, as he'll go to 54 yards.
Well, and he's a young man that South Alabama will count on next year as well to carry the load. They want another running back that can give him a little bit of rest here, give him some chances to stay on the sidelines. But Mentor, when he is full speed, is very, very good.
Same play going the other way. This time it's Deontay Moore carrying, breaks a tackle 40, tried to strip the ball, and they didn't go for the guy. And he'll easily break the tackle attempt of Silas Kelly and pick up a South Alabama first down to the near sideline.
Well, Moore, the senior, playing his final game here at Ladd People Stadium, and that's textbook. They're always telling you, make sure you keep that ball high and tight, and he did just that. Of course, every running back does drill after drill after drill to make sure you hang on to the football, and Moore doing a good job of hanging on right there.
And Kawan Baker, jet sweep handoff, puts it in the left hand, running right, waits for a hole, goes forward, and it'll jet for about 5 out across the 45 to the 46-yard line with another injured shot to clear. It's a linebacker, Teddy Gallagher, a guy they can't afford to play without. Defensively, he's one of their leaders.
That would be a huge blow to the Chanticleers if he can't come back.
Played for the DC back when he was in the high school ranks. Marvin Sanders, he is up on his feet. Nope, check that, he's not. I saw a big pile back there walking around, and there he is behind the Jaguar pile. Gallagher appears to be in some pain.
Well, you don't see many young men from Los Angeles going coast to Coastal Carolina, but you mentioned the relationship he had with the defensive coordinator. And boy, he's been a good one for Coastal. And just a sophomore.
So Gallagher will get to his feet. Here's the play where he got injured. Jags trying to get Kawan Baker in some space. This is Deontay Moore. This was the play previous.
Yeah, there he was.
It'd be the play after this one. So Baker's carry around right in came after that run by Deontay Moore, second and about 5. The handoff, Minter trying to come near side. They tackle him high and that won't bring him down. The determined running by the junior will get into Coastal Carolina territory at the 48, and a new set of downs. First down number 9 for South Alabama, second of this drive.
And Zach Crosby, a tight end. Haven't seen a whole lot of him as he comes to the sideline now, but Crosby had a nice block on that left side. And those stretch plays are dependent on those outside guys getting the blocks downfield, and Crosby doing a good job of engaging his man enough to let Minter slide by.
Jags go with the handoff. Minter gallops forward. Michael Makin's trying to catch up to him, but blowing right by him goes Minter. And he'll pick up 6. Second and a short 4. And Jamarius Way has come back into the game. There he is. He's out there man on man against Mallory Claiborne, the senior corner from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now make that 2 wides right.
And you talk about NFL potential with Jamarius Way. He certainly has the body for it and has the ability for it.
Timeout taken by South Alabama here.
South Alabama. It's their first of the half.
But the question is, will he get drafted? Will he have to go the free agent route? But certainly a guy that could have an impact in the NFL. Jeremy Reeves, defensive back for the Jags last year. He was a free agent with Philadelphia and then went to Washington and was, last I saw, on their practice squad with the Redskins. And could Jamarius Way wind up on an NFL roster? Former Jag Gerald Everett, by the way, made a couple of headlines on Monday Night Football.
What, 3 catches in the 4th and 2 of them for touchdowns.
And the last one being the game winner.
And he tight-roped.
As the Rams beat the Chiefs in a classic on Monday Night Football. And Gerald Everett, kind of Jamarius Way-esque. Had that same body type, that build. Like to see Jamarius get a shot in the big time.
Andrew Rinkenmeyer's come in as a tight end to the left side of the formation. Here's an option. Orth with an injured shoulder is going to give it to Maurice Mayo, and he's hemmed in, and there is a flag thrown where you would expect a hold by South Alabama. On 2nd and 4, Jags only gain a yard. It would bring up 3rd and 3, but you'd expect Joe Moakley to take any penalty.
Offense, number 85, 10-yard penalty. We play second down.
So the penalties aren't good news if you're Steve Campbell, but right now, his team has seen their biggest lead of the year outside the Alabama State game.
Right. You go back to the Texas State game, the only other win for the South Alabama squad, and they actually had to fight back and score a bunch in the 4th quarter in order to get that 10-point win. So being up 17-0, certainly not something that South Alabama this year has been accustomed to. As you take a look at the replay, and Zach Crosby, you can see him out there on the left side of your screen, the lead block, and had a big shoulder pad in his hands.
Down the sideline, pirouetting, staying in bounds. Minter adds to his run total today. Trey Minter on his 10th carry. He's getting towards 100. And another slow shot to clear, getting up. How about Minter putting it in the left arm and picking up ground?
Well, here should have gone out of bounds, but boy, nice balance there by Minter to tightrope the sidelines and to be able to get out of bounds. And I believe that's James Heft, number 49. Heft on his knees, as he was one of the ones pursuing Minter.
He's the guy in for injured Teddy Gallagher.
Yeah.
Heft is a backup, so they may go to backup of a backup. Heft, a senior from Covington, coming to Georgia, is going to get to his feet and get off the field under his own power.
But he stood up after the play and then tried to walk a couple of steps and then went right back down. He was one of the ones pursuing Minter toward the South Alabama sideline. It's like maybe take a look at it. You see Heft right there in the middle of your screen, 49, pursuing to his right. And let's take a look at what happened. Is it may have gotten a cleat. Got stepped on the foot. That has never a fun injury. It's not a particularly cold day. It gets even worse when it is cold.
Touchdown saving tackle perhaps by the safety Alex Spillum. Jags going with the run again. Deontay Moore on the ground. Circles in behind his left tackle Thingstad. And he'll stay on schedule. A little extracurricular trying to stay out of that pile is Roy Albritton, the right guard. Now it's getting a bit chippy. It was Coastal Carolina just cutting this one to 10 on a Bryce Carpenter pass to Isaiah Likely, a 31-yarder that capped an 8-play, 72-yard drive. Jags trying to get back to a 17-point lead, working in Coastal territory. The line of scrimmage is the Chanticleer 27. Back split. The give. Minter keeping it on the ground, waits for the hole. It goes forward inside the 20. Nice patience that time by the Jag running back.
Well, we talked about Trey Minter in the open, 87 yards in the touchdown against Louisiana. Talked to him after the game, and he said he was very, well, not happy, obviously, about the 10-point loss. He was very encouraged with the way the offense, particularly the offensive line, started to gel in that ball game. And that is carried over to today.
Back split again on either side. Orth will give. Cutting it up a little quicker this time, but going the other way goes Minter. He is pile drive straight back on a hard hit by Gallagher. So Gallagher is back into the game after being injured.
Yeah.
Now, they've lost 3 straight Coastal Carolina. But think about 2 wins they have this year. Louisiana and UAB. And everybody has kind of been going down to UAB. The Blazers are having a heck of a year.
Well, and the UAB win for Coastal Carolina wasn't close. They blasted the Blazers. But since then, Coastal just struggling a little bit, trying to find their footing.
Run right side behind Crosby. Moore gets a good block, breaks into the right side. Chased from behind, tackled by Fitz Watley, but a good gain down near the 10-yard line for Deontay Moore, the senior from Owens Crossroads, Alabama.
Well, that's the third time we've mentioned Fitz Watley today, as he has some good closing speed and able to push Moore out of bounds before he gets to the sticks. So a 3rd down and 2. So Cameron Taylor now checking into the lineup, a tight end along with Collier Smith. So the double tight end formation, or at least 2 tight ends in the ball game, you would assume. A big running play here.
Rinkenmeyer shifts to the right. Keeper Orth up the middle and hit at the waist, trying to keep that shoulder healthy. He'll be denied the 5. But it's Orth fighting and picking up the first down on 3rd and short. And it's going to be 1st and goal, South Alabama deep in the Coastal Carolina red zone.
Well, Evan Orth, who has been consistently 3rd on the depth chart prior to this year. Dallas Davis was the projected starter in the spring, but then he transferred to UAB. And it came down between Cole Garvin and Evan Orth. And Orth able to get that first start against Louisiana Tech when the Jags opened the season.
E.J. Pointer, linebacker, late getting off the field. And here comes Kawaan Baker in motion. Jet sweep handoff. Puts it in the left hand. Kawaan Baker, 13th touchdown of the year. He'll take it into the end zone. That is his 9th rushing for the sophomore from Atlanta, Kawaan Baker.
Well, you talk about the response from South Alabama after Coastal Carolina able to have a nice sustained drive and put it into the end zone. What does South Alabama do? A nice sustained drive. 13 plays to be exact, and nice blocking as you see the running backs, the linemen, giving Kawaan Baker just enough room to get into the end zone, and that lead is just about to be back up to 17.
From our end zone, you see the kick from Gavin Patterson out of the hold of Waitman. And the Jags re-extend to 17, climbing on top of the Chanticleers by a score of 24-7. Time remaining before the half. 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Now it will be the Chanticleers getting the ball to start the 3rd quarter.
Well, that's why I think it's very important for Coastal Carolina right here to be able to respond, because they do get the ball to start the 2nd half. But you see the jet sweep to Kawaan Baker, and that's something that South Alabama has done time and time again. And you have your leading rusher in terms of touchdowns is your receiver. Kawaan Baker is that guy. He's got more touchdowns on the ground than does Trey Minter. But for Coastal Carolina, now the question is, how do you respond? South Alabama responded with a nice 13-play drive. Plenty of time, 2:43, and you got you got 2 timeouts left for Coastal Carolina, so plenty of time to get some points back.
I'll tell you, if you're anybody carrying the ball today, especially out in space, Seems like this Jaguar group of receivers have blocked tremendously well. It's not about when the ball's in your hand, it's what you do when the ball's not being thrown your way, and these receivers are creating some big holes on the perimeter.
Well, that's not an easy thing to teach receivers as well, because they have that mentality, as they should, that they want the football thrown to them at all times, but something Steve Campbell has tried to impress upon his young receivers, that you got to do your blocking as well.
Kicked over towards Tyler. He'll race between the hash marks. Here comes Coastal Carolina. Breaking it far side. Tyler breaking tackles. And he'll go out of bounds at the 28-yard line. So a pretty good return here for the Chanticleers. The only scoring drive for Coastal Carolina was Bryce Carpenter's pass. Came in for an injured Kilton Anderson and threw a 31-yarder calmly right down the middle. Jags respond to make it 24-7. There's the return by Tyler.
And nice blocking by that kick return team is now, again, 2:34, plenty of time for the Chanticleers.
Kilton Anderson is back in, injured earlier. Anderson will take a chest-high shotgun snap, go play action. He's being rushed from outside, sacked. Pressure from Sean Grayer. He had a blocker on him and extends the right arm to get just enough of the jersey.
And that was just pressure from the backside, and Sean Grayer wouldn't be denied. Grayer's going to come from the left side of your screen, working on the left tackle, and just got by and able to grab the jersey, and I think he was helped by the quarterback, who felt the pressure and just kind of went down, did Anderson. Well, that is sack number 2 for Sean Grayer. Maybe the first sack since the opening game for South Alabama. they haven't had many sacks lately.
And second sack of the day for the Jags defense, 19 on the year for the South Alabama D. 2 running backs, no play action. Looking over the middle, now down the near sideline. Deep shot to Ryan Mills, looking for his second pick of the year, and he's got it. Did he stay in bounds? The referee making sure he held on to it, and he says yes. DeRyan brought it all the way down. The deep shot. South Alabama comes up with it, and the pick thrown by Anderson is 3rd of the year. And check out the replay. Good concentration by number 21.
Well, DeRyan, one of the best in terms of pass breakups, but boy, he just tracked the ball all the way down, thrown a little past the receiver, and DeRyan, going up against Malcolm Williams, was more of the receiver there than the defender, and he's getting mobbed by his teammates as DeRyan, the senior, playing his final game for South Alabama.
Second turnover taken by the Jags today. Recovered a fumble back in the first. Scored on the next play. Running right, Kawan Baker just carried for a touchdown. Bounces off a defender, breaks it for more yards. So tackling not the 4 today for the Chanticleers as Kawan gets up good yardage.
Well, and how about the blocking downfield? Watch number 5, Trey Mentor, the leading rusher in terms of yards. There he is, mixing it, getting one angle, and then as Kawan Baker goes around him, gets the inside angle to allow Kawan a couple of extra yards. Everybody getting in on the blocking today.
So the INT gives the Jags an opportunity to try to get some more points going into the half, because South does have to kick off to the Chanticleers, and Joe Moglia will be trying to get his team into the locker room focused for the second half, as South Alabama trying to keep as much time on the clock will take their second timeout of the opening half.
One thing the Jags have to be careful of, though, is if you don't convert this 3rd down and 2, then you're still going to give Coastal Carolina a lot of time left on the clock in order to do something. But Steve Campbell, with the vote of confidence for Kenny Edenfield and his offensive coordinator, saying, I have no doubt you're going to pick up that 3rd and 2.
South Alabama giving that offense a chance with this DeRyan Mills interception. His 2nd of the year, first today. 2nd takeaway of the game. DeRyan Mills catches it right at the face mask and hauls it all the way in, completing the catch.
Yeah, how about that concentration as he tumbled to the sidelines and was able to roll out of bounds and keep possession of the football as DeRyan Mills gets the pick. And now we'll see if South Alabama can turn it into points. 1 minute, 22 seconds to go in the half.
Here's DeRyan reliving the old times. Well, a play ago anyway, with Joe Lawrence and the rest of the defense. Tobias Boss was there with him. Kawan Baker's going to come in motion. Back to action, play action. Orth, heavy rush, gets away, and he's got space, but there is a flag down as Orth will shuttle out of bounds shy of midfield.
Yeah, I think they're going
Holding. Offense, number 56. The 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
Looking at Rowan Godwin.
Yeah, just about to say they're going to get Rowan Godwin for a hold as Godwin was beaten on the play. And when that happens and the quarterback's right in front of you, has no choice trying to avoid the sack, and you just hope the official doesn't see it.
Cade Sutherland, Jameer Taylor going to come in as wideouts. Here's another look at that hold.
56, right side of your screen. He's got beat off the line of scrimmage, and there you see.
Timeout. Coastal Carolina.
Got to keep those
It's their
hands
second and a half.
inside.
It will be 30
There's
seconds.
a hard charge there by Sterling Johnson. And that's why Evan Orth was able to find a lot of green to his left, because Rowan Godwin with a nice tackle.
Kind of an unusual number on a defensive tackle. Number 6, Sterling Johnson.
So 3rd down and 12. Now the question for South Alabama is, do you put it on the ground and make Coastal Carolina use that last timeout? Or do you try to go for the first down here?
Moment ago, some light sprinkles here at Ladd People Stadium. The heavy rain's supposed to hold off till tonight. Temperature-wise, not bad. We were at 62 degrees at kickoff, and the Jags want to change the play here as it gets down to 10. Orth, the quarterback, gives, big hole. Mentor at the 40, and a punishing blow at the end as he piles over the defender, Derek Bush. And how about Trey Mentor? His 13th carry, and he's going to get to 100 today. He's well on pace at 76 before that one.
Well, he burst out. They needed 12 yards for the first down. He's going to get 11, 4th down, as he's 1 yard short. Nice hard running and nice delivery at the end, but they'll allow the clock to go. And then I would assume punt it away.
Nice kick out block by the left tackle Thingstad on Jeffrey Gunter. Gunter, tough task to block. Leads the team in sacks and tackles for loss. 14 tackles for loss to lead the shot to clears, along with 5 sacks. And South Alabama may spend a timeout here on
South
4th and
Alabama.
1 coming up.
It's their 3rd and final of the half.
Jags a yard
30
away from the
seconds.
first down marker, but working from their own 42-yard line. Steve Campbell wants to bring the guys over.
Now you kick it away
Clock
with
operator, please reset the game clock to 23 seconds.
As they'll
23 seconds on the game clock, please.
reset that clock to 23 seconds. And now you kick it away, and you assume if they don't get a run back, then that Coastal Carolina will then just kneel it, get into the halftime locker room, and if you're Steve Campbell, you get a 24-7 advantage going in.
Have not seen Corliss Waitman today. I guess that's good news if you're South Alabama. Your punter not in. He's been busy this year, though. 63 punts. Averages 42 2/3 for the senior out of Milton, Florida. Jake Harwell will snap. Corliss, who made the preseason Ray Guy watch list and a preseason
Clock
All-American at
operator,
punter.
please reset the game clock to 23 seconds.
So they'll add a second back to the game clock. J.D. Byers, Pat Greenwood with you. Lauren
Thank
Estes is our sideline reporter. She'll be talking with head coach Steve Campbell here in just a moment as he makes his way to the locker room at halftime. Currently the Jags on top 24-7. Jake Harwell, the snapper, 1 man deep. The rollout rugby style low wind cheater. And it'll take a bit of a jag bounce kick out of the 24-yard line. No chance that time for Kajon Tyler to set up the return. And the Chanticleers will have 17 seconds. So 7 seconds go off the clock on that rolling punt.
Well, and the thing is, too, barring the punt return, which there was none, you would assume that Coastal will lick their wounds, take a knee, and then try to make some adjustments to get back into this thing in the second half.
Again, it'll be Kilton Anderson, shaken up earlier when Sean Grayer rattled him.
Or
First and 10 from their own 25.
if you're Moakley, you can go for it. See what happens.
I see he's got a spread offense out there for a running team. Looks into the flat, complete, spinning towards the boundary is Marable. Picks up a block, goes forward to the 40. Ball comes out. Looks like it's recovered by South Alabama. It'd be the second fumble of the day. And the head linesman gives the indication it's Jag football at the 39.
Wow.
Jags recovered a fumble back in the first. This will be the 3rd takeaway of the game, and the Jags have 9 seconds
The
to
ruling
work.
on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, South Alabama.
Well, it was Jordan Beaton, that was Nick Mobley that came in and knocked it loose, recovered by Darian Mills. But boy, that would be devastating for Coastal Carolina if you give the football back to South Alabama and they can get a quick completion and then possibly a field goal attempt. Question is his knee down? You see, Marable, number one, should have gotten out of bounds right about there. Stop the
ruling
clock.
On the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. The previous play is under further review.
You see Mills with the stop. Mobley coming in behind him, and Mills was right there. So the question, was his knee down? I don't know if there's going to be enough to overturn that, but
That's the thing. If that's not ruled a fumble, it probably stays as well, because you got to have the evidence to overrule, not a good guess. It's got to be irrefutable evidence by video replay. Now, we have, of course, Bill Barrett and our replay official, also collaborative replay back in Birmingham at our league official's office. Here's a replay from the other end zone.
And this is, from what I understand, a pretty good look at it. As you see, Mills makes the stop, and yeah, I think that's absolutely a fumble. Was Mobley able to knock it loose before Marable's knee able to touch the ground? And if that's the case, Mills has the belt
for the second time.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, South Alabama.
So now you're Steve Campbell. You're out of timeouts, but you're at the 39-yard line. A quick completion here. And if you can get out of bounds, then you may have a field goal attempt. Or, the way we've seen Steve Campbell this year, you may just heave it up into the end zone and see what happens.
His playmakers are in there. 4 wides, 2 either way. Orth, the quarterback. Rush from the outside. Going to loft it and does go for the money. And playing defender is Jamarius Way. He was back there in double coverage and tips it away from the 2 closest defenders. Bush was one of them back there with Fitz Watley, the safety, the over-the-top help. And that'll stop the clock with 3 seconds to go for South Alabama.
Well, that was actually a very good play by Jamarius Way. Otherwise, that's an interception. But now, 39-yard line, now you just heave it into the end zone and see what happens.
This time 3 wides right to the boundary is Jamarius Way. Way split to the near. He's already got 2 touchdown grabs in the game. The safeties are playing way off the ball. Way puts on the gas, stepping up into the pocket. Orth looks down. He's going to keep it himself. And that'll be the last play of the half. And the Jags will take a 17-point lead into the locker room.
This is the end of the first half.
So they end the threat by at least causing and recovering a fumble. Joe Mobley, his team, at intermission, struggling with 117 yards, only 23 on the ground. And Coastal Carolina, New Orleans back in July. And his path through the coaching ranks was, of course, involved in the Ivy League. Was offered a job at Miami. Howard Schnellenberger tried to get him to come down at the time, had kids. I said, you would not believe what even a coordinator at Miami paid back in those days. Couldn't make the move, went into the private sector, and then back into coaching and directing Coastal Carolina. Here's the return at the 10. At the 20, big hole, breaking it, caught from behind. Ball comes out, recovered near sideline. Did the Jags get it, though, in the field of play? Nope. And they say no. Coastal Carolina will maintain possession, but that was a vicious lick on special teams.
Well, you see Corliss Waitman there on the sideline. And that's a big break for Coastal Carolina because, boy, you did not want to give up that advantage. Just take a look at the return as Kyjon Taylor got upended there, and the ball just goes straight up and trickles out of bounds before the Jags could recover. And if Coastal Carolina is going to be able to respond in this ball game today, it's got to start right here.
So here's Anderson with back split, play action, throws near boundary, and completed on the near side. First catch of the game for Jeremiah Miller, his 20th of the year, with a 6-footer from Monroe, North Carolina. Not enough for a first down, gain of 6. Line of scrimmage their own 35.
But much like South Alabama, you look at the offensive line for Coastal Carolina, you got sophomore, junior. You got Miller as the redshirt freshman. You got Marable. You got Outlaw, the running back, is a senior. But a lot of these guys coming back for the Chanticleers.
Just an old-fashioned seam pass dumped and enough for a first down to the slot receiver. Trying to get his hands up was Tyree Turner to deflect it, but Otto Rope And threading a needle is Anderson, and the chains are going to move. That's only the 8th first down for Coastal Carolina in the football game. And there's a look at Nigel Lawrence. That right arm looking a little limp. He's had some injuries this year. He's the free safety.
But Nigel Lawrence, a senior, not coming out of this one. Although Tobias Moss, the man that had first crack at him, couldn't make the tackle.
Anderson flooding 3 wides field side. Right to left they work. And just settling in front of Malcolm Buggs. There's another grab. This one complete into Jag territory at about the 46.5-yard line, setting up second and medium.
That was Kyjon Taylor. And do you think, or Tyler, I should say, do you think that that may be a halftime adjustment? 3 times we've seen the play fake and the quick pass across the middle.
The whole time has been drastically reduced. It's snap, get it off, short routes, and now 4 wides, 2 either way from the middle of the field. 2nd and 4. Anderson turns and looks, running back off his right shoulder. Takes a face mask high snap, throws on a down and out. This one's complete. That's Williams. And he'll go down the far sideline. That is another first down as Williams collects his 4th reception of the game. He's now the leading receiver in the game for the Chanticleers.
Well, he was able to get away from Chason Milner, who had the coverage on the outside in the flat. But you ought to like that matchup when you got Williams going up against Milner.
This team averages 208 yards rushing. Coastal Carolina has 23, but right now getting it down through the air off the right arm of Anderson. Tied in a wing right. Now in motion, Bell. Comes to the near side, rolling left, throwing to the boundary. That hopped. That's off the turf, and the line judge was right there to say incomplete, intended near side to Jeremiah Miller.
Well, Miller was open that time. That one's strictly on Anderson as he was rolling to his left. And not easy for a right-handed quarterback to roll left to make the throw, but you got to get it up higher than that when you got an open receiver.
Miller's 2nd target of the drive. That one incomplete. Looking for his 2nd grab here in the late afternoon. His favorite receiver, that's Williams, going to the top of the screen. 3 wides to the bottom. The South Alabama is rushing 4. Anderson from the hash, pump faking the flats, going to keep it. Quarterback draw, chased. Nick Mobley was the closest one to him and hit him down on the ankles. That's a good run under duress, though, by Kilton Anderson. He went down injured in the first half.
Yeah, and I like the play call as well. You've gone pass, 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 pass. Now a design quarterback draw. That middle was wide open. And Anderson able to take advantage of it for a gain of 7.
3rd and 3. 3 for 5 today's Coastal Carolina on 3rd down conversions. They came into the game 42%. Double tight end formation. Trying to get to the Jag 24. Anderson changing the play with 13 of the play clock. Turns, gives on the belly play, and he ain't going to get there. Good defense up front, pushing him back. Mobley filling the gaps along with linebacker Bull Barge.
Now an interesting call here on 4th down. Do you go for the points here in the field goal, or do you say, look, you're down 24-7. You need to win for a bowl. Let's go for it. It looks like the latter will win out.
It would be a 45-yarder. Descartes hit from 50. And they're going to keep the offense in. And with substitutions, the center judge will let South Alabama bring in the defensive changes. And all the corners are in very tight on 4th and 4. 2 safeties high, 1 on either hash. Early in the 3rd, Joe Mobley and the Chanticleers trying to cut into a Jag 17-point lead. Speed option, pitch, nobody around him. Alex James picks up the first down and more. And down the far sideline, he'll get to the 5. That may be a face mask to go with it. They're looking at DJ Daniels. This will be the first trip for Coastal Carolina in South Alabama's red zone today.
Well, a great call there because South Alabama wholly unprepared for the pitch to the right side. It was a near side pitch, and oftentimes you see the option going to the far side of the field. That time, the option to the near side, to the short side. And
Personal
James
foul,
all by
face
himself.
mask, defense, number 6. Penalty will be half the distance to the goal from the end of the run, and an automatic first down.
And the night flag here by South Alabama. There's Joe Mobley. He likes this drive. Arms crossed, but his team's got some work to do, and that's half the distance. Making it 1st and goal at the 3. James will stay in, the running back. Brings a wide receiver in. Gives up the middle. James takes it in. Right up the middle. Touchdown. Alex James behind his left guard, Jack Franklin. And the sophomore carries for his 2nd touchdown of the year.
Well, Coastal Carolina needed to respond after that 24-7 first half, and boy, did they. A long drive that ends with a touchdown, and now we got another ball game here in Mobile as Coastal Carolina refusing to go away. That's exactly what the Chanticleers needed to start this second half.
Alex James going to cap a 9-play drive. On comes Biscardi. He's missed 3 times on conversions this year. The kick, that one's right down the middle. Here's the replay on the scoring play. Up the middle, Alex James just blasts and gashes right up the middle for 6. Mobley gets him on the back. And as we go to break, the Jag lead for the second time today has been cut to 10. Nine plays, 71 yards. Here's the scoring play. Right up the middle, Alex James. And for the second time, Coastal Carolina has cut this to 10, and there's James on the sideline, smiles, trying to help his Coastal Carolina Chanticleers come from behind.
His second rushing touchdown of the year, his third. He had a receiving touchdown as well, and that was a big answer for Coastal Carolina. Now South Alabama with the opportunity to do the same.
Minter and Baker are deep. Here's a short one. Baker will have to come forward. Got it at the 10. Far numbers 20. Runs straight ahead, gets to the sideline, a few extra, and it'll be denied the 30. Kawan Baker, really good first half. Scored the Jags' final touchdown of the second quarter when he scored from 6 yards out. And here comes Evan, check that, Cole Garvin will be the quarterback this drive. Garvin warming up when they came out of the locker room. He's 4 for 5, 92 yards, and a touchdown, no picks. And Jamarius Wade split down to the bottom of your screen. Twin wides right, tied in and a wing left for Garvin. Starting from their own 27, the give, and Minter, left side, bounces out. He had 88 in the first, and he may go 88 and out the gate. Down the 40, far sideline, he'll be nudged out on a touchdown-saving tackle by the safety, Alex Spillum.
A great burst of speed there by Trey Minter as he goes down the Coastal Carolina sideline. Take a look at it again. Just a quick give to him as Cole Garvin gives, goes the other way, and then great blocking on that left side of the offensive line. Troy Thingstad, one of the blockers downfield, that's a big run and a big response by the Jags.
Steve Campbell likes chunk plays, so that's about 12 per run, 16 per pass, and they shoot for 8 of them.
And that's something that South Alabama has struggled with all season long.
Minter will try the right side, ducks his head, pile drives and spins. Extra effort. And now the push by South Alabama's offensive line. Hayden Merchant coming in trying to push the pile. It's gain of about a yard inside the 30 to the 29.
And Jamarius Wade pushing Merchant back. A couple of words exchanged, and Way trying to make sure the Merchant doesn't get a personal foul and put his team in jeopardy there.
Now, we've talked a lot about Minter. He's getting close, or actually has gone over 100. He's got 131 on 14 carries. Deontay Moore checks in, Pat. He averaged 11 yards on 5 carries in the first half.
Well, the senior from Owens Crossroads, Alabama, trying to leave his mark on this Jaguar program at his senior day.
Quan Baker set in the backfield. They give it to him. Trying to get around the corner. He'll get around Gunter and then gets him into the backfield, still on his feet, and this is going to be a big loss. Normally it's been Baker motioning into the backfield to take a handoff. This time they line him up as a true running back off the right shoulder, and that play backfires.
Well, I'm not sure who will get credit for it, but Gunter is the guy that caused that play, because not only did he get into the backfield, then he had outside contain, and that's the hardest thing to do in that type of situation. Keep the outside contain and push him back to where you have the help, but Gunter did a great job of positioning and making Quan Baker go back to the middle of the field.
Cade Sutherland has checked in as a wideout with McCray. They're both in the trip formations near side, and that's procedure against South Alabama on the flag.
Well, there was a jump by Coastal Carolina.
False start. Offense, number 3, the 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
A jump along the defensive line, but clearly able to get back in plenty of time, and Jamarius Way split out by that Coastal Carolina sideline, just took another step. You know, the defense can jump and get back, offense can't move, and Jamarius gets called for it.
Jags were averaging just 339 offensively on the year. They had more than that at the half. Now it's 408. The loss moves it back to the 43. Garvin to move Minter off to his right shoulder. 3-step drop out of the gun. Quick fire to McCray. Hit as he catches. And he'll be slung down, but forward progress to the Chanticleer 39. And it'll be 4th down and probably outside of Gavin Patterson's field goal range. And here comes Corliss Wakeman.
Well, Drinkard with a great open field tackle on McCray. And that prevented any extra yardage and forced the punt here.
So Kyjon Taylor will go deep. Corliss Wakeman, 1 punt in the game. It was a 33-yarder. They kept it down, wanted it to roll, to take some time off just before the first half ended. And here's the lefty booting with heavy pressure. Gets it off. A high-hanging kick. Fair catch called for at the 14 and collected by Tyler. And that's where the Chanticleers will have it 1st and 10 when we come back. Midway through the third, the Jags lead 24-14.
Keeping himself and Bull Barge with the open field tackle, as that's a loss of about 3. Kind of surprised, though, that Coastal didn't go back to the air. Had a lot of success in that first drive with those catch it, throw it type of plays.
Jags 3-man front. Sterling Fisher showing blitz, perhaps. The outside corners are playing way off these receivers. 2nd and 13. Deep drop. Anderson's going to get it out. Bobble dropped, incomplete, trying to get it with Alex James. Yeah, that last drive, it was Coastal opening it up and going with the short, quick passes, and accumulated 71 yards, 9 plays, with Alex James taking it in from 2 yards out to cut the lead down to 10. Coastal Carolina's been no closer today. Perhaps it's spot of the field. Wanted to stay back with the run, tucked inside their own 20. Now the line of scrimmage, the 11. Trying to get to their own 24.
And now that 3rd and 13, you're going to have to put it in the air. And the short pass won't do.
3 of 6 on 3rd down conversions. The first one they faced in the second half, though, for the Chants. Jags again rush 3. Taji Stewart now is in on one end. Bull Barge walking back and communicating with his linebackers. Anderson flushed out, rolling right, throws up the seam and behind his intended receiver. Trying to stay with him was DJ DeShazer. And just a bad pass incomplete by Anderson, and that'll be a punting situation for the Chanticleers.
Now Isaiah Likely was there, just trying to catch him in stride, and it would have been close to the 1st down marker. Not sure if he would have had it, but the fact that he threw it about 3 yards behind him didn't give him a chance. And now a big 3 and out for that South Alabama defense, and now number 5 with a chance to return a punt.
Wind starting to pick up. It's blowing at the back of Overson. How about his average today? 49.5, punting from his goal line. And that's Minter seeing it bounce and get away, and it'll take a sideways South Alabama roll at midfield. And the Jags will have very good field position with 6:15 to go in the third. Leading 24-14. Time has been called in Mobile, Alabama. When we come back, the Jag offense will go to the work for the second time in the third. Cole Garvin, 5 of 6, 96 yards and a touchdown, and perhaps it's Evan Orth's fourth quarter. Two senior quarterbacks today.
We've seen Cole Garvin play the entire first, Evan Orth play the entire second. Not sure if there is a set rotation, but kind of seems that way now.
1st and 10, breaking it outside, nice bounce. Trey Mentor has space, breaks 2 tackles, getting around defenders, and has another gain around Fitz Watley. And Trey Mentor's having a career day, 16 carries, 141 yards.
That was just pure speed. Good blocking on the left side, but then just pure speed by Trey Mentor to be able to get to the sideline, move the 6 for the first down. And Mentor just a junior, so he's going to be a big part of that Jaguar offense come next year.
Overloaded right side with a tight end on the wing. 2 running backs, play action, looking to throw. Way got open, but Garvin was in traffic. He'll have to keep it himself. Garvin, wow. Shoulders first, down to the turf on a vicious tackle by Silas Kelly. And the big sophomore linebacker punishing the QB. Positive yards down to the 31. Nice gain. It'll be 2nd and 3, South Alabama.
Well, Jamarius Way was wide open along his left side, but Cole didn't get to him in time. You can see it. And let's take a look at that hit by Silas as Cole Garvin going one way, and then that is textbook for Coastal.
Zone read handoff, deciding to give, and Moore will rip the right side, and the push by Godwin and Alexander will be enough for a first down. So the chains are going to move. South Alabama's 15th first down of the game, leading by 10, coming up on the 5-minute mark in the third.
And we talked about the youth of both of these programs. Look for good things from both the Jaguars and the Chanticleers in the coming years as these young guys get more and more experience and get more and more used to this level of football.
2 big weapons left, Baker and Way running the other side. Hard running, gashing. And Mentor again running right into the shoulder pads, pushing Alex Spellum the other way. The redshirt freshman got the worst end of that run by Mentor. About 4.5 on the game by Trey running right side.
Well, South Alabama trying to provide the answer when Coastal Carolina scored on the first drive of the third quarter. Most importantly for the Jags, though, they're taking a lot of time off that clock as we're 4:20 and counting here in the third quarter.
Looking at a 4-man front, man in motion. Here comes Baker. The give. Deontay stutter step, goes right, comes up the seam, and will work inside the 20. down to about the 18, and the Jags in the first half were perfect in the red zone on 2 of 2.
About a half-yard short here is Deontay Moore, so 3rd down and half a yard.
Now you see Taiwan Walters come into the football game. Senior from Marks, Mississippi. Not a lot of carries this year. Man in motion. Andrew Rinkenmeyer, who's fought back from injury. It's going to be Garvin keeping, diving for the first down. Inside the 15. And Cole Garvin will move the chains.
Well, Garvin has done a good job. Of course, did a good job last week, 38 points against Louisiana. And in that losing effort, the defense gave up 48. But Garvin, who played early in the season and then benched, then comes back against Louisiana, has a good game, and now very efficient today against the Chanticleers.
7 in the box, and the Jags will try to go wide against it. Baker sees the hole closed down and won't get away. Collier Smith had 2 defenders push him backwards and was not able to seal the edge for him. And that's Michael Makins, you see right there. He's the one that penetrated, caused the havoc. He's from Lithonia, Georgia. May sound familiar. That's also the hometown of the former Jag Gerald Everett, who we mentioned earlier in his career so far with the Rams. And an injured player down for Coastal Carolina.
Trying to get a number there as they look at his left knee. Although I think Coastal Carolina may have caught on to that jet sweep by now. That's twice they've shut it down for Kawan Baker.
That's either Gunter or Clayton.
Take a look at the replay. Kawan Baker.
Yeah, that's Jonathan Clayton. Sophomore 3 technique.
And for South Alabama, you look ahead to next year. Memphis in the non-conference schedule.
Okay.
Memphis will come down to Mobile, while the Jags will go to UAB to start a home-and-home series with them. Memphis, the return visit after the Jags played in the Liberty Bowl this year. Then in 2020, we've talked about the new on-campus stadium scheduled to open in 2020. That's when the Jags will open up the season with Grambling and then have UAB at home and Troy at home as well. Now all the
those 2 guys in the huddle here, Mentor and Moore for South Alabama. What a day they've had. They've combined for over 200 easily. 17 carries, 149 for Trey Mentor, no touchdowns. 7 for Deontay Moore, 62 yards. Averaged 11 in the first half, and now South Alabama's sports medicine staff are going to come out and see if they can help.
Clayton, the sophomore, out of Jacksonville. So they got
That's pretty tense.
The extensive medical staff, and now they're going to bring the cart out to wheel this young man out of here. Here's hoping that he is okay. But
we've not seen the cart used at Ladd People Stadium in a long time, and you always hope you don't see it. Maybe we won't for a long time. We're going to break away. They're going to help up Jonathan Clayton with the Jags up by 10 late in the 3rd. 2nd and 11. Carted off is Jonathan Clayton. Play action rolling right and dumping it down, missing Trey Mentor. Speaking of Mentor, we just told you 149 yards rushing. Lauren Estes is on the sideline with a special group of folks. Lauren?
Jody, I've actually got some of family members of Trey Mentor here today, all the way from Arizona. It's actually Trey Mentor's birthday as well, so they're here cheering him on, hoping for a great game. We've got uncles, aunts, cousins, and of course his mother, who's been here for most of the games this year for South Alabama, JD.
Hoping for a great game, Pat. They got it.
They got it. Yeah, Trey, that's a good birthday present for that young man.
And he'll be back. They need season tickets if he's going to play with a big crowd. There's the throw. Count spinning away. McCray at the 10, leaning, trying to get into the down marker. He's going to be short. It'll be 4th down for South Alabama.
So now what do? Likely a chip shot field goal. Is there a big difference between 10 and 13 at this point? Oh, Steve Campbell says, nope, we're going.
Moments ago, if you're wondering, Jonathan Clayton during break was injured, was down for a while, and he was carted off. That left knee already in a brace, and the right had the air brace around it. So we hope the best for that young man. 2:06 to go in the third, and Mentor off the left shoulder moves. Here's Garvin, straight drop on the hash, looking for Mentor in the flat. He's covered up. Throwing, caught, spinning, touchdown. Jamarius Way is back in the end zone, his 3rd TD catch, and that's a scramble route. He sees his quarterback under duress and breaks back to the middle of the field.
Good job by Cole Garvin. And look, great pressure there by Coastal Carolina's defensive line as they flushed Cole out of the pocket. And you would think that Cole's just going to throw it away. But on 4th down, finds Jamarius Way, and that's what you do as a receiver. You see your quarterback's in trouble, go toward his line of sight. And Jamarius Way, the senior, going out in a big way today. 3 touchdowns.
A 10-play drive, capped on a 7-yard touchdown pass. Gavin Patterson puts it through the uprights. Here's the replay, and great concentration by this quarterback.
A good pressure up the middle. Cole throwing off his back foot. Not textbook. That's not what you want to show the youngsters, as this is how you do it. But Cole, when you've got a receiver like Jamarius Way, you can take some chances. And Way has had a whale of a ball game. So you talk about pro potential with number 3 there. And I think he'll get a shot somewhere, whether he's drafted or whether he gets the free agent route. I think we'll see Jamarius Way with a shot to get into the NFL. By the way, we talked about Jeremy Reeves earlier. He was honored just after halftime. He's on the Washington Redskins practice squad, and he made an appearance, the Pensacola native, the latest Jag to be in the NFL. And hopefully we'll be joined by Jamarius come draft time.
Here's the kick by Waitman. That's not his best effort.
Nope.
Yanks it, and it goes out of bounds near sideline. Was trying to put it over here in the corner where waiting on it was Kajon Tyler. So that free kick out of bounds will be brought out to the 35 for the shot to clears.
All right, so Coastal Carolina, they responded in the first drive of the second half.
Kickoff out of bounds. Kicking team number 87. Ball be placed at the 35-yard line, 1st down.
Second penalty of the second half, had 8 in the first, so 10 flags against the Jags in this one. And they're mounting. They're up to 83 yards. Shots only 2 flags, 10 yards.
But now getting to that time where you're running out of chances. Coastal Carolina, you've got to be able to put something together.
No tight ends, 2 wides right, 1 left, 2 running backs. Anderson, speed option. Late flip back, spinning. That's Marable. He'll scrimmage out across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
That was well defended that time by South Alabama as they stretched it, had the quarterback covered, had the running back covered as well. And a minimal gain there. You'll give them 1, and it's 2nd down.
Under a minute and a half to go in the third. Anderson on 2nd and 9. Long snap count, play clock at 17. Looks at a 3-man front. Play action fake. Oh, he's under duress. Gets away once, but not the second time. And he's hit from behind, and he's going to be dropped. Oh, man, big Tyree Turner was there.
Tyree Turner never gave up on the play, and as Anderson tried to flush to his left, Turner able to get in behind him. They exchanged a couple of words. As we take a look again, Tyree Turner, number 12. You see him on the right side of your screen, goes to the left of the quarterback, and then comes back, circles back, makes the sack.
He's got 4 tackles, a sack, now 2 tackles for loss for big Tyree Turner out of Stockbridge, Georgia. Still a 3-man front. 2 linebackers 8 yards off the ball. On 3rd and 13, expecting pass, and Anderson wants to throw it. Nice concentration on the dig route by Miller. And he'll get it to the 45, and he's right across the line to make. He needed the 45 and stretches it near the 46. And the chains will move for the 12th time for the Chanticleers.
Well, that's great awareness by Jeremiah Miller, knowing where the sticks are, knowing where he needs to get. Finds a soft spot in the zone, settles in, and makes sure he doesn't go backward. Gets a much-needed first down for the Chanticleers as the quarter comes to an end.
45 minutes in the books, and the Jags have the lead heading into the fourth, 31-14. Coastal Carolina ball 1st and 10 from their own 46 when we come back. Kilton Anderson from the gun, 1st and 10. Over the middle, wide open grab, nice catch. Settling in, Javian Haley, a freshman wide receiver, found a soft spot about 18 yards downfield. He's out of Venice, Florida. And that's a deep shot into Jag territory at the 30-yard line and a first down.
And made a nice move once he made the catch as well, as he's moving to the inside, makes a spin move to the outside, gets a couple extra yards, and that answer that Coastal Carolina desperately needs, now they're 30 yards away from it.
New set of downs at the Jags 30. 3-man front, 2 linebackers. This is Anderson. Turn. Settles, pressure, throws, post corner, over the shoulder, grab, out of his hands. He was wide open, and he missed him. That is his running back, C.J. Marable, who is by himself.
Not sure exactly how that one didn't come down into his hands. I think Anderson kind of saying the same thing. Is Anderson looked to be maybe turned the wrong way, but then lofts it up.
There's a steady breeze blowing left to right that may have pushed it a little further. Marable didn't quite make the adjustment there at the end, and it falls to the turf. 2nd and 10. Early 4th. Looking right, calls his own number. It's going to be a draw. Anderson picks up 12, rumbling right up the middle, dashes his way inside the 20, and they'll give him the 19-yard line, an 11-yard gain.
Well, that design quarterback draw has worked very well a couple of times for Coastal Carolina today, as Anderson picks up the first down, and now the shot to clear is inside the 20 to the 19.
He's still -2 rushing on the day, though, Anderson, on his 7th carry. Passing wise, Anderson 12 of 19, a pick, no TDs, 138 through the air. And he sends 2 wides either way, now make it 3. Empty backfield for Coastal Carolina. Draw play again, Anderson, and he's got room to go. Rumbles to the 10. Dancing, rolling down to the 2, giving him maybe the 1.5. And now you go back to that 4th and 2 earlier when South Alabama took the touchdown instead of the easy field goal. And if it's an answer right here by Coastal Carolina, Steve Campbell's going to be feeling like a genius.
But I'll tell you what, this one I believe is coming back, as there's a flag down at the 15-yard line, and they're making preparations and making sure that the flag is placed at a certain spot, which indicates a personal foul.
Hands to the face. Defense, number 74. Penalty is half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
So Sean Brown will get flagged there, and you know the quarterback draw worked so well. Why not go back to it? And it worked back-to-back plays, and now Coastal Carolina about a foot away from making this another 10-point game.
That's now 11 flags on South Alabama. Bunched up formation on that far hash mark. Eyeing the end zone to our right. The tight end of the wing will shift to the near side. Jags defense were still pointing at the snap. And late adjustments. Coastal Carolina is going to exploit it for the 2nd time. Rushing touchdown up the middle. Alex James. That's only his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year as a backup running back.
But that was the same play they scored on the other end zone back in the 3rd quarter.
There's James. Caps an 8-play drive. The shot of clears not done. Off for the point after Massimo Biscardi. Holding is Overson, the punter. And his kick is good.
So the shot to clear is not ready to go away yet.
Flag down will settle that up with our head referee, Chris Steed. 8 plays, 65 yards. Taking 3:42 off the clock and hitting pay dirt as Coastal Carolina.
During the try, personal foul, chop block, number 78 and number 53 of the kicking team. The penalty is 15 yards and retry the kick.
So one lineman engaged a defender high while the other came in, hit the same guy low. And of course, that was a safety move several years back that's illegal now on the interior part of the line.
Now this makes the extra point a little more adventurous, as they say. A 35-yarder.
That one's up and sneaks it in the right upright. Converting is Biscardi. And the Jag lead for the 3rd time today has been cut to 10.
Is the Jack
He should be right here in the middle in that huddle.
Wins, yeah.
If you want to do the East, I'll do all the West off
Good.
that. Just tell me the winner of Troy and at hosts. It represents the East. Last Saturday at Louisiana, that guy, number 3, had 6 catches, 1 for a score. Little better ratio today. Jamarius Way, 5 grabs, 3 touchdowns, 141, and he's making Belle Glade, Florida pretty happy.
He's a big, strong young man that has pro potential and is going out in a big way for South Alabama. He's a guy that's going to be missed in that receiving core in terms of targets. He's a big one.
Biscardi, a driving kick with the wind behind it. And taking the end zone onto the knee, and it'll come out to the 25, Quan Baker. And the Jags will have it at the 25, working right to left, 1st and 10, 463 yards of offense. The lowest productive quarter was the last one for the Jags, 90 yards. And back in comes Evan Orth. He got the 2nd quarter, and he'll get the 4th. And Jamarius Way will stay in for South Alabama.
So that's been the M.O. Cole Garvin played the 1st and 3rd quarter. Now it looks like Evan Orth will get the reins here in the 4th. He played in the 2nd quarter.
Only 3 passes, 2 of them complete, 1 for a big touchdown. Minter, wow, gets out of a pile and has a 1st down and more. In traffic, gets near midfield, cartwheels after an eventual tackle. Coastal Carolina, Jalen Walker gets his 11th tackle of the year, and that one may have saved a touchdown.
Well, Trey Minter, boy, is he building some momentum for his senior year next season. And a lot of credit, though, to that offensive line. We talked about it in the beginning of the show, the fact that you had 17 combined starts for that entire offensive line coming into this season. The 2 guards in the center had never started a collegiate football game. They've played every one of them so far this season, and they're starting to get it.
This time it's Deontay Moore. Nice cutback. And across the logo into Chanticleer territory. He'll be wrapped up by Silas Kelly at the 2nd level, and the Jags rip off 8 more.
Well, and that offensive line, you know, that's never a glory position, but I'm firmly convinced that you are as good or as bad as your offensive line. If you've got an offensive line that knows what they're doing, you can take a running back who is okay, make him look great. If you've got a mediocre offensive line, you can take a great running back and make him look okay. Steve Campbell, very much an offensive line coach. It's one thing he wants to build up at South Alabama.
Orth with back split, gonna give. Here's Minter, he won't get the 200 yet. He's gonna lose, so they'll subtract about 2. So that'll put him at 172 on 19 carries.
Well, that was Teddy Gallagher shooting the gap. Nice job by number 34 to get Minter before he got rolling. Now it's a 3rd down and 5.
Gallagher a little bummed up in the first half. 3rd and 5, where the Jags today on 3rd down are 3 of 8. Davin Flournoy will come in as a wide receiver. He and Sutherland are split to the top, both backups. And that's Jabir Taylor, the slot to the bottom with Way. Check that, it's Quan Baker. Line to make is the Coastal Carolina 40. Orth, big rush, throwback, caught, Way bobbled it, and he won't get there.
That's a big stop by Coastal Carolina as Silas Kelly, the one that's able to stand up Jamarius Way. Way never got hold of the football, and then by the time he did, his momentum had been stopped, and Silas Kelly puts the big hit right into him. That's a big stop by the Chanticleers. Now, if offensively they can convert something, we got the potential of a 4-point ball game.
Any score here would cut it to 1 score. Jags up 10. Early in the fourth quarter, Corliss Waitman, just 2 punts today. They've had to be Pooch's, and he's going to try another short one to pin him. High end under end kick. Fair catch called for. Tyler will make it at the 11. That's executed pretty well. And the Shunts down 10 have it when we come back. Sidelines, Lauren, number 8, he's doing the math right now.
He's rallying the troops, JJ. I just saw him in the faces of some of the defensive players saying, it's time to hold our side. We've got to secure this game, and it's going to come down to some defensive plays, making some big stops and being consistent in their tackling, JD. They still want to get the ball back again.
Yeah, that's why Bull Barge has been one of the inspirational leaders of this team all year long.
Wide is Marable. Diving at his feet, not able to make the play is Jalen Thompson. Jalen hit all turf and just whiffing and going right over him was Marable. And he'll pick up not a ton of yards, but 3 hard-earned around the end. And Bull Barge is one of the guys you're really going to miss in this program. He's not huge. Not a ton of stats that are going to break any kind of records here, but he's been a big leader on and off the field for this team in the weight room and on the field.
Yeah, just a fine young man on and off the field. Fine representative of South Alabama football.
Second and about 8. Bringing a man in motion. Play action. Looking into the flat. And having to keep it himself. Anderson's going to cut it up between the hashes. Actually get some good yards out in about the 20, setting up a makeable 3rd and 2. It's a 10-point game. Coming up on 9 minutes to go in the 4th at Ladd-Peebles Stadium. It's the regular season finale for these two. Coastal Carolina win gets them to 6. Bowl eligibility, likely not an invitation.
But not a do or die here, but that's a pretty big 3rd down as we hit that 9-minute mark. Game could sway one way or the other here.
Jags rushing 3 on 3rd down. Anderson's play clock's at 6. He's still looking to the sideline. Play clock at 1. Gets it off just before the zeros. Quick toss outside. Marable cut up, got the 1st down. Nice play back inside. Cutting inside of Tobias Moss.
That was a big-time cut there by Marable because Moss had a shot at him. Malcolm Buggs had a shot at him as well. Nigel Lawrence finally one of the ones bringing him down. But the chains move, and that is vital for the Chanticleers as they try to get back in this one. But a touchdown, even a field goal, makes it a 1-score game.
Marable back there with Alex James. James has 2 rushing touchdowns. 1st and 10 from their own 26. As the tight end comes in motion. The turn and the fake on the belly. Deep shot. Behind the coverage. Knocked away by Mills. It's incomplete. He turned and came up with it. But that definitely hit the turf, and DeRyan made a great adjustment right at the end.
Well, and DeRyan was helped by the fact that that pass was held up in the wind a little bit. Because if that was leading the receiver, that's a touchdown for Coastal Carolina. But the ball hung up there just a bit. That allowed DeRyan, who was beaten by about 2 or 3 yards at first, to make up for that deficit that he had. As you see the separation there, but the ball hangs up. DeRyan Mills able to close the gap and come up with a pass breakup, and he has been a wizard at that. That's his 9th of the year.
Now going into the teeth of a 6-mile-per-hour wind is Coastal Carolina rolling out of the pocket. The throw into the boundaries off the mark. Down on his knee was Jeremiah Miller trying to collect it on the near sideline, and incomplete at the 30.
And if you're Coastal, that's a catch you've got to have. It was in his hands. He just couldn't hang on to it. Now, instead of a 3rd down and about 3, you got a 3rd and 10. As Jeremiah Miller will be kicking himself for that one.
Malcolm Williams has been his favorite receiver this year. He's got 4 in the game. And there's Miller to the outside. 1 of 3 to the bottom of your screen. 1 to the top on 3rd and 10. Play clock at 9. Anderson wants to throw out a play action. This one's tipped, bobbled around. Daniels can't get there. Incomplete. Jalen Thompson. Been a very animated guy today, I guess.
Always is. Jalen Thompson, the local product out of St. Paul's High School.
It'd be great not to need like 5 cups of coffee a day and just have his energy.
I did at one time. Probably about 37 years ago.
Got it. You're like way older than me.
Yes, by about a month or so. So that's a big stop by the Jags. Coastal's going to have a couple of shots, but if South Alabama can put some points on the board here, that may end it.
Kicking into the wind. This is a tail dragger. Menard calls for the fair catch. Got it at the 39. So the Jags leading by 10, 61 yards from the end zone.
Coastal Carolina has had their opportunities, and there's one of them that just missed it. As the ball hangs up in the air, DeRyan Mills able to knock it away, and the Jags cling to a 10-point lead.
First and 10, Jags. Avon Orth, the quarterback. After the punt, fair caught by Minter. Trey will get the carry. He'll gain a yard. So Trey Minter is now climbing up. He's got 173 on his 20th carry. And there he is, number 5. And I mention it because you got to go back to 2014. The most yards rushing in a game in Jaguar history was Kendall Houston with 178. South Alabama's never had a 200-yard rusher in a game. Minter could get there, Pat.
He absolutely could. Kendall Houston, a local product out of Viger High School, who had some very, very big games for the Jags back in the early days of football.
Back split. Orth from the gun. 2nd and 9. Minter running wide. Runs behind Deontay Moore. Gives him a block.
But what we're seeing now from Coastal Carolina is they know that South Alabama trying to milk the clock a little bit. And so they've gone from a 3-man front now to a 5-man front. And they're putting 9 in the box and daring South Alabama to throw it. Although I wouldn't be surprised if you put it in the air here on 3rd and 7. And they'll back off. Coastal Carolina will back off that 5-man down. Make it a 4-man front.
Jags with 3 takeaways in the game. Half points off 2 of them. 3rd and long. Line to make. Jags need to get to their own 49. Shuffling his fleet delay handoff. And Moore is wrapped up. He'll fall forward for a positive gain, but not nearly enough for a first down. And Steve Campbell, the head coach for South Alabama, will call on Corliss Waitman for the first timeout called.
Coastal Carolina. It's their first of the half.
Well, now
30
that's
seconds.
a good move
Game
by
clock
the
operator. Please reset the game clock to 6:08. 6:08 on the game clock, please.
good move by the Chanticleers. Go ahead and stop the clock now. So that'll give you 2 timeouts and plenty of time to work with. You're going to get the ball with about 6 minutes to go. And touchdown's going to make it 31-28.
Jags will have to punt, but we're just a yard away from a 500-yard night. Jags sitting at 499. Coastal Carolina 259. They've only rushed for 90. This is a team that averages well over 200 a game on the ground, but came off just 189 in the 41-17 loss against Georgia Southern. For Coastal Carolina, they're trying to avoid losing 4 straight to end the year. Jags trying to get 1 win at least to give them 3 and end the season on a high note. 4th and 5, Waitman. Harwell gives him a good snap, rush up the middle, and getting off a howitzer is Waitman. That's a beautiful high-hanging punt. Fair catch called at the 10 by Tyler. And Coastal Carolina will be 90 yards away from the end zone.
Well, that's a good job by the way, Corliss Waitman, because they put 9 in the box and sent everybody. And that's catching it, kicking it under pressure, and then not only doing that, but getting a good kick away after it. So now you put Coastal Carolina 90 yards away, 6 minutes, 1 second to work with. Not out of the realm of possibility by any stretch, but makes it a lot tougher to do.
46 yards on the punt, no return. Anderson, the quarterback. 2 wides either way, now empty backfield. Marable will come as the outside receiver, bottom of your screen, just out of view. Looking back, boundary side. Here's the catch out of the backfield. That's Tyler. And he'll squirt up the far sideline.
Well, what you just did there is you gained about 7 yards, 8 yards, and only took 5 seconds off the clock.
Sean Grayer, nearest guy to him. Second and a couple for the Chanticleers. That's Malcolm Williams, the middle receiver near side. Backfield, that's C.J. Marable, the transfer from Presbyterian. And a look from your end zone as Anderson works from the gun. Looks down the hashes. Throws up the seam. Caught. First grab of the game. Shadell Bell. It's only his 7th catch of the year. So they target the tight end, and it pays off.
And just a little 7 and turnaround, a little button hook, they used to call it in the old days. Nice pitch and catch. Nice first down for the Shots.
Bell will stay in. He's one of 3 wides, bottom of the screen. Waist high shotgun snap. Pump fake now looking deep. And behind the coverage, spinning grab made Williams. That's his 5th of the game. And he's in Jag territory just that fast. And earlier, Joe Moglia, the head coach of the Shots, was worried about the clock. It's now 5:08 to go He needs 2 scores. It's somewhere in there a touchdown's got to factor in.
He had Jalen Thompson underneath, and he got past him. I'm not sure if Jalen thought he had some coverage behind him, but it was Nigel Lawrence who got there way late. But now the clock running. But Coastal Carolina 35 yards away from the touchdown.
Tight ends either way. 2 running backs. Make it 1. Faking the load option. Wanting to throw. At the flat. Caught. That's James. An offensive lineman, left tackle Stephen Bidoski, was knocked to the ground and slow getting up. So no gain. Back to the line of scrimmage on the catch by James. It's going to be 2nd and 10. And the clock does move. He was tackled in bounds just feet from the sideline.
Well, they were trying to go deep there, but that time South Alabama had much better coverage on the one-on-one option down the far sideline, so they had to go to the check down. And the clock continues to move, as you said, JD.
1 running back late getting off the field is Bull Barge. From the 35, play action up the middle, rolling, lofting one down the sideline, some pushing and shoving, and no flags. Jalen Thompson had a wide receiver behind him and one hand on his shoulder, looking for Williams down the boundary, and for the second time, Anderson slow getting up.
I'll tell you what, Anderson has taken a beating today. That's one tough kid right there. As he was under all sorts of pressure, we saw him get leveled by Sean Grayer earlier today. Went into the medical tent, but came back out and has guided the Chanticleers most of the way today.
3rd and 10. 50% on 3rd downs, 5 of 10 is Coastal Carolina. And this is 4-down territory regardless. A peek up at the defensive front for Anderson. Keeps it on the option. The quarterback on his feet, hit high from behind by Grayer. And he'll rumble for about 6. It'll be 4th and a long 4 now coming up for Coastal.
It'll be a 47-yard attempt should they try the field goal. You're going to need the field goal and the touchdown, but maybe a little out of the range of what Coach Moglio wants to do, and they're going to keep the offense on the field here on 4th down.
A look at Sean Grayer signaling to his defense. Anderson to the line on their biggest down of the football game. Needing the 25 to move the chains. Jack Stem shift up front. Anderson, good protection, throws a bullet, knocked away. And it's incomplete, and that's Dorian Mills. It's been his day defensively. He's got a pick, a fumble recovery, and a key pass breakup there late.
Yep, he's had 2 or 3 so far today. And Dorian Mills in the one-on-one coverage. Good coverage. Of course, Coastal begging for the pass interference, but not going to get it. Dorian Mills going to go out. Looks like he'll go out his senior season with a whale of a ball game, as will that man, Jamarius Way, standing next to head coach Steve Campbell.
2 timeouts remaining for the Chanticleers, so if they could get a quick stop, they don't feel like they're totally out of it. But the percentages just went way down. Jags take over on downs at their own 30. This is Cole Garvin this time. He played the 3rd. Evan Orr played the 1st, or about 2/3 of the 4th. And the give on the cutback. We'll get that about the 32.
This is their 2nd of the half. It will be 30 seconds.
So that's the Chanticleers' lone hope now, is force a 3 and out and try to get a touchdown and the onside kick. So a 1st down would all but seal it. 2 first downs would for sure take this one out of the reach of Coastal Carolina.
Well, these teams, of course, not much to play for as far as the postseason. December 1st will be the inaugural Sun Belt Conference Football Championship game. Over on the East, Pat, we kind of know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that one's easy. Troy will play Appalachian State. The winner will go to the conference championship game. The West is a little more convoluted. I'm going to let you tackle that one.
Well, if Louisiana wins at ULM, Louisiana wins the West. If ULM wins against Louisiana tomorrow, Texas State, they got to beat Arkansas State in order for ULM to win the West. For Arkansas State to win the West, here's what's got to happen. They need to beat Texas State and have ULM beat Louisiana. So I'm sure you got all that. It's very convoluted in the West. The give, rumbling, Garvin, quarterback keeper. Not enough for a 1st down. 3rd and 2 coming up And probably right there is why we're seeing Garvin instead of Orth, because it's running, keeping it in bounds, picking up first downs, and Evan Orth's got that very sore shoulder.
Right, absolutely. So you look ahead to next year. Easy one in the opener for South Alabama, August 31st. They'll be in Nebraska, taking on Scott Frost and the Cornhuskers.
Jags are over that 500-yard mark. Big day offensively, 508. So far, 202 through the air, and the Jags have rushed for 306. Another rushing play. Baker stepped out, but he did pick up the first down.
Got to the 40. Needed to get to the 40.
A lot of
close
flags.
to the 41-yard line.
Flags at about the 49, and that's going to be Coastal Carolina, and one got in a lot of trouble. If you're going to throw punches, they're looking at Michael Makins. You don't want to do that on the opponent's bench.
And let's take a look at it. After the play, there's 40 working on Jamarius Way.
Jamarius was trying to hold him up.
Yep, there you
Wow.
go. That's going to get it every time.
That's never called for. But can you believe the calmness of the Jags sideline?
Yeah, true.
Nobody hit back. We saw one get out of hand up in Oxford last night. Now the hatred between these two, not nearly what they are between the Rebels and the Bulldogs.
They're going to look and see
After
where.
the play was over, flagrant personal foul by the defense, number 40. Throwing a punch, number 40 is disqualified from the game.
And
The penalty
Makins,
would be 15 yards and an automatic first down.
a redshirt freshman, is going to be escorted off the field.
Well, there was a question of did he get the first down, but with the penalty, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
With the penalty, they'll give you 15 yards and an automatic first down. So with 2:22 to play and a first down to work with,
I'm not
chances
sure.
are this will be over.
I was trying to determine, is Jamarius Way trying to hold him up a little? First he tried to turn him, and now it looks like he's trying to pick him up. But we're a long way away. Either way, it got chippy at the end, and maybe Jamarius is pushing him a little bit.
But I've always questioned why you're going to hit somebody in the head that's wearing the helmet.
Yeah.
That's never going to feel good. But some frustration from the Chanticleers as their season has started off so promising. A win over UAB. They beat Louisiana. But they have gone downhill in a hurry, and you see the frustration there by the Chanticleers.
Clock winding, coming up on 2 minutes to go. Jags new set of downs. Minter driving forward. He'll get to about the 42.5-yard line.
Timeout, Coastal Carolina. This is their third and final of the half. It will be 30 seconds.
Minter now at 180 on 23 carries. Timeout. Joe Mowgli and the Chanticleers. 1:57 remaining. J.D. Byers, Pat Greenwood, Lauren Estes on the sideline. You know, Lauren got to talk to the coach going into the locker room at the half. He was pleased, all facets except maybe some penalties. And then you and I were talking earlier. Trey Minter, Deontay Moore, the running backs, they've run as hard as we've seen them run all year. But the receivers, and we're talking offense, defense deserves some accolades, I guess, for this unit. But the receivers, I think, offensively for South Alabama and the Chanticleers have blocked really well with the ball not in their hand.
Yeah, and again, not easy to teach, not easy for those receivers to understand how big of a deal it is to block downfield. But that's one thing the NFL looks at. They say, okay, can he catch the ball? Yes, fine. He's a good receiver. What does he do when he blocks?
Jags have thrown just 13 passes tonight. Garvin's thrown 9, completed 7, 2 for touchdowns, no picks, 111 for this guy. And he'll work from the gun. Minter finds a lane, cut back. Trying to pick up the 200. He'll rumble inside the 25, down to about the 22. The ball fumbled forward. And who got it?
They ripped it loose, and I believe Coastal Carolina has it. Question is, was he down? But I don't think he was. I think that's a turnover.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Coastal Carolina.
They'll give it to the Chanticleers, their first takeaway of the game.
And it's hard to say anything negative about Trey Minter, especially about the way he's played today. But an effort play, and Coastal Carolina needing to knock the ball loose. And looks like Watley was the one that did it.
That would have been the run that got him over 200 yards. But it'll be for naught on the turnover. Look Look at him plant with the inside foot. That's a hard thing to do as a running back. As soon as you see that lane, the tendency is to put the outside foot down, and he just stomped it into the turf and cuts up field. Whoa, I think he may be down. He came down and hit the turf. Fitz Watley, though, came in and attacked the football. He knew his defender had him wrapped up, and that's taut. And he's worked hard on it. Fitz Watley for Coastal Carolina stripping that pigskin. Big play in the backfield.
As the Jags able to sack
Tyree Turner.
Anderson, yep.
Anderson trying to get the big play. They need chunk plays with 1:30 coming up. Anderson wants to throw again. Settles, has space after a 3-step drop. Corner route, caught, and then wrestled out of bounds on the completion to Williams. He's had a big day for the Chants. That's his 6th grab.
That was perfectly placed there between 2 defenders. Nice job by Anderson to put it in there. And that's a big first down for Coastal Carolina.
From the gun, Anderson. 3-step drop, sets his back foot. Penalty flags are down. That ball way off the mark. Trying to get Turner coming back for it.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense, number 19. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Jason Milner called for that one, the senior from Spanish Fort. And the Jags pick up their 12th. A dozen flags, and that'll be for 101 yards.
Well, Milner, one of the 19 seniors on this roster.
Ball moves into Jag territory with 1:04. Working from the Jag 47 now. Here's Coastal Carolina. And Kilton Anderson, the senior from Naples, brings them set. Dumps into the flat. Caught by James out of the backfield. Up the sideline and out of bounds at the first down marker. And that will stop the clock for Coastal Carolina.
Well, a good job by James getting as many yards as he can, but then understanding you're out of timeouts, go ahead and get out of bounds, stop the clock.
About 1.5 yards shy. 2nd and short. And James will stay in there. Their longest touchdown pass was to Isaiah Likely on the only throw of the game by Bryce Carpenter, a backup quarterback. That was back in the 2nd when Anderson was out injured. 2nd down. Looking over the middle. Crossing route. Grab. Tight end. Bell has it. He'll rumble, and that big body takes defenders with him to the 15. And then he hits the 16. And racing up to the line comes Coastal Carolina with 50 seconds to play.
Well, that was a great catch there by Bell coming across the middle. That was a laser right at him.
Jeffrey Watley in on the defensive front. Jeremiah Littles will check out. South Alabama didn't like their defensive formation.
South Alabama. This is their 2nd of the half. It'll be 30 seconds.
Jags now have 2 remaining. The Chanticleers, trailing by 10, are out of timeouts. They got it 1st and 10 to the Jag 16.
This is their 1st of the half.
Chanticleers at 369. That's their offense, but have rushed for under 100. Coming in 10 yards behind the average. Chants were averaging 379 and rushing for 208. Today held to 92 on the ground.
And looking ahead, next year, Coastal will start at home against Eastern Michigan, then go to Kansas, home against Norfolk State, at UMass. For South Alabama, at Nebraska, home against Jackson State, home against Memphis, at UAB. Both teams will play their 4 non-conference games, all first, before they hit the conference schedule.
3 wides left. Here's Anderson. Looking to the back corner. He's going to give it that way. An over-the-shoulder grab. Good for a touchdown. Malcolm Williams. His 5th receiving touchdown of the year. Working around Malcolm Buggs back in the corner of the end zone.
Perfectly placed ball again. We've seen Anderson twice on this drive. Find his man and drop it in there. Drop it in the bucket. And we got a ball game.
You'll be seeing an onside kick here in just a moment. Malcolm Williams caps a 5-play drive that quickly covered 80 yards in only a minute 13. Very methodical at the right time. Coastal Carolina down 2 scores. Just punched it into the end zone. The extra point, Biscardi. And he'll give his team a chance because a field goal now can tie it thanks to that extra point by number 29.
So now Coastal Carolina, they have to get the onside kick, and then all they got to do is get into field goal range to force overtime. So if you turn this one off early, probably shouldn't have.
It's now 31-28 in a 3-score game. And again, only a minute 13 on the drive. That's getting up the field in a hurry. And Coastal Carolina with a 16-yard touchdown pass. Anderson now 20 of 32. South Alabama will likely dispatch Cole Garvin back into the game, 7 of 9, but it's what he and the running backs have been doing with their feet because South Alabama has timeouts. Coastal doesn't. But it all changes right here if the Chanticleers can recover the onside kick.
And how about the hands team for South Alabama that includes quarterback Cole Garvin and quarterback Evan Orth? Garvin in the middle on the Jaguar logo. Evan Orth in that diamond shape by the 50-yard line.
Jameer Taylor's over there. McCray. Tobias Moss, a free safety. Here's the onside. Kick towards the Chanticleers and covered up by Taylor. Jameer Taylor has it. And South Alabama now can run the clock off. Chanticleers cannot stop it. They're out of timeouts. And the Jags are going to pick up their 3rd win of the year in the 2018 season finale.
Well, the ball never popped up, and Jameer Taylor just covering it up like a ground ball. And that should do it.
You always want to kick those into your sideline. Yes. If there's ever a 50-50 call, you got a better chance of arguing it, hopefully getting a better call on a recovery.
But I don't know if I've ever seen 2 quarterbacks in on the hands team.
Jags will get some yards back here on the victory formation. 5:35 on the offense. Trey Mentor gets his 200. Trey Mentor becomes the first running back in Jags history to eclipse the 200 on 24 carries, 203 today. No touchdowns, but averaged 8.5. Deontay Moore averaged 8 on 9 for 72 yards. And that's going to be your last play. And the Jags will let the clock run out.